Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. Oh my goodness, guys, we have the mega amazing epitome of what we want to be producer coming on the show today, the one and only Bradley Gallo.
Yeah, super excited about this interview, guys. If you're not familiar with him, you know his movies: The Call with Halle Berry, The Road Within with Zoe Kravitz. He just acquired the film and television rights to The Green Hornet. Holy shit!
Epic.
The only superhero not being controlled right now by DC or Marvel.
Yeah.
We talked to him about all that
Exactly.
and advice for getting into the industry as a producer. If you want a production company, or just great advice all around for actors. I mean, this is an interview you guys do not want to miss. We learned a lot.
Agreed. Anybody who's trying to break into the entertainment industry, this is the interview for you. You need to listen to this one and just write some notes down, seriously, because we did while we were freaking listening to this guy talk. And I mean, this is another guy that talks more than the mouth.
That's like 3 now.
I know.
I've got to up my game, man.
It's crazy. It's super crazy, but we hope you guys enjoy the interview. But that will be later on. But now it's time for the show.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. Holy moly, we are on episode 105 this
105.
week. So excited.
It is exciting, man. And you guys just noticed we had a little bit of a cold open and some new music. Are y'all's pumped?
Right.
You're probably wondering, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, exactly.
It's volume 3, guys.
Whoa,
we
whoa.
wrapped up 104, that 2 years. This is 105, first episode of volume 3, third year.
Yeah, man. Super crazy. I mean, we've cut out some dead weight, lost some pounds, like feeling healthier, feeling good.
Heck yeah.
Oh my goodness. The show is where it needs to be at, but we're always keep learning. We always learn, and I mean, things might change after each episode.
It's true.
We want to try new shit.
Yeah, you know, we're going to throw in some sound effects this week. You heard the new music. Maybe we don't even like the music. Maybe next week we do new music.
Exactly.
We don't know. By 6-7 weeks in on year 3, maybe we'll have it to where we want it.
Yeah.
But just bear with us. It's going to be entertaining. You guys will be laughing your asses off over the first 6 weeks, I guarantee.
Of course,
It's gonna be fun.
And with it being volume 3, oh my goodness, closing out that second year, I'm just super happy to announce that we have all of these amazing subscribers that listen to us each and every week. We appreciate all of you.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I'm super excited about all the subscribers. You guys are so amazing. That applause was for you.
Yes. And look, guys, let me tell you, like, every week we're seeing a huge increase in listeners for the show. We're seeing a huge increase with people watching the YouTube videos, followers on the social media. It's just, but the growth of the podcast, the listener base of the podcast over the last 6-7 months has been huge.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah,
I mean, thank you.
Agreed. And before we get this thing started, we've got to introduce ourselves, of course, your host with the most, myself, the one and only J-Lo Fantastic, and of course, the Mouse.
What's up?
Oh my goodness, we got so much to talk to you guys about, but before that, we got to plug our website, crazyantmedia.com.
We've got a website?
We've got a website.
What?
Oh my goodness, you can read our professional bios, you can go over to our merchandise link and start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. Oh my goodness, we got hats, shirts, book bags. Well, not yet, but we got totes for your groceries. Oh,
yes.
Little mesh bags. You need a bonk bag. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's a bonk bag.
Exactly. We're thinking about getting in some underwear too.
That's right, bonk boxers.
Yeah,
you guys
right.
want bonk boxers? Who doesn't?
You know you do.
You can literally dress in Crazy Ant gear from head to toe.
Right.
I mean, I think you should do it.
One day.
One day.
Oh my goodness. But you guys have seen it all over social media, all over the news. I mean, we're talking about the coronavirus. We're here. We're ready. We're recording the show today with gloves, guys.
That's right. We have sanitized the entire office. We have sanitized all our gear. We are not touching faces.
We are
not our own faces.
Yeah.
Not each other's faces. We will not touch faces.
No.
Okay.
I'm not touching you.
No, we will not touch you.
But it's crazy, man. It's crazy what it has done for the entertainment industry. And I'm sure people are probably sick sick and tired of hearing about it, but it's affecting us all. It's affecting our work. It's affecting the entertainment industry, which is our work, but our like day-to-day jobs. I'm sure you've seen that restaurants have been closed down,
Yeah.
schools have been closed down,
Yeah.
all this crazy shit.
The economic impact has been absolutely insane. So, but of course, I mean, you know, you guys, we always kick off the show with industry news, and it's all about Corona because it is hurting the entertainment industry.
It is.
Big time.
Yeah.
And the people that it's hurting the most are the people that we like to highlight on the show a lot is the below the line crew people who work job to job, you know, and these people are like, oh shit, you know, and so we're going to talk about that a little bit too because we got a lot of A-listers stepping up and taking care of those people, and so that's good to hear. But yeah, Corona.
Yeah, be prepared, man. Be prepared. I mean, according to reports, Hollywood as a whole could stand to lose around $20 billion.
Yeah, $20 billion. And this is just if it went into April like they thought.
Yeah.
Like if it goes beyond April, guys, which now it's looking like it's going to, it could be even worse than that.
Yeah,
$20 billion.
They're talking about like July, August.
Yeah.
So 2020 is going to be defined by this coronavirus.
Yeah, and Disney is expected, just Disney, guys, not the whole industry, just Disney, $350,000 a day they are losing. Yeah. We've got that a little bit later on in the industry news, too. They filed with the SEC about selling some stuff to raise some cash. Well, I guess so when you're losing $350,000 a day. But think about it, though. That's what happens when you're Disney because they've shut down productions on TV and movies. They had to shut down the parks, all their Disney stores, so all the merchandising, the ad revenue because of ABC and ESPN. So, they're getting hit from so many different angles of it, you know? It's just...
all of them, everybody. The coronavirus continues to rapidly spread all across North America. Theme parks have been shut down. Broadway went dark. Studios pulled from their major tent poles for their release calendars for the theatrical releases.
It's true.
And virtually all of Hollywood movies and television productions have been halted.
I know. Have you been to a theater? Disneyland? Any of those?
Anybody? No.
It's like silent.
It's like that.
It is crazy, y'all. And and they're asking the government for help. Yeah. They're like, hey guys, we need some help here. They're doing the right thing though.
Yeah.
We want to stress that the government. Hopefully they're working on a stimulus package. We've been talking about that too. So hopefully that gets passed or whatever. But kudos to the entertainment industry. It's tough. They're losing billions of dollars, but they're worried about the safety of their employees, of themselves, and and they're doing the right thing. So good for them.
Yeah.
It's hard, but whew.
Yeah, it's super crazy. Everybody's seen all the multiplexes have been shut down, basically. Ticket sales in North America hit their lowest levels in more than 2 decades, guys.
Yeah.
Super crazy. And only one movie, Disney Pixar's Onward, made more than $10 million over this stretch.
Yeah. How crazy is that? But when you think about it though, like we're talking about it, let me move my thing here because I don't want to miss any of these things. The major movie theaters, guys, Alamo Drafthouse, Cineplex Odeon, Landmark Theaters, Regal Cinemas, Cinemark, AMC, all closed, guys. These are like the major IMAX, all the IMAX theaters, like everything. You cannot go see a movie.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, Regal, let me get that refund. One day before they shut down the theaters and said they weren't charging people, I got charged for my unlimited subscription. It's a great service. Not saying it's not. But I want my refund because I'm not going to be able to go see any movies.
I feel like, though, they've been pretty good. You're going to get your refund.
Yeah, I emailed them today.
Yeah, so I feel like, you're going to get it. I'm just saying. Regal is pretty good. I think you're going to be all right. But if not, you might have flushed that $20 down the toilet.
I know.
I'm just saying.
I know.
I'm just saying. No, Regal, they going to do you right.
They gonna do you right. And Yeah, it's crazy. All of the largest theater chains in America have been shut down, like you just said. But I mean, feature films have also been halted. And man, do we got a list for you.
Oh my gosh, guys. If you were excited about any film basically coming out between now and the end of April, you're pretty much screwed.
Basically.
Amazon's Bird of Paradise.
Yeah.
Disney's The Little Mermaid, the live action one. Marvel's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Rings.
I was excited about that.
Oh, me too. The Last Duel, Nightmare Alley, Shrunk, which is the reboot of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the live action Peter Pan and Wendy, Disney Plus's Home Alone movie,
Flush that one down.
all of the Avatar sequels, all shut down. Production has been shut down on all of these. That's not it, though.
It's not it. You got MGM's The Samaritan. You got Netflix, Red Notice, The Harder They Fall, Paramount.
Red Notice, too, man. That's a big one with Gal Gadot and The Rock.
Ryan Reynolds,
yeah,
right?
dude,
Like,
that was a bad one to shut down. And then, like you said, Paramount, Mission Impossible 7, old Tom Cruise shut down.
Exactly. You got Sony, Uncharted, Cinderella, The Man from Toronto, Shrine, The Nightingale.
Yeah, The Nightingale, that's the first time the Dakota Sisters were going to be working together in a film, too. Yeah, so you can... That one's gone.
Yep.
For how long, too, we don't know. All of these have just been postponed, but there's no dates on
when they're coming
when
back.
they're going to pick up production again, right? So, oh, shit, yeah, Universal, too. Jurassic World Dominion. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Flint Strong, the story of Clarissa T-Rex Shields. And an untitled Billy Eichner romantic comedy. So Universal's losing some.
Yeah, they seriously are. And I mean, Warner Brothers is right along with the pack. You got Matrix 4. Everybody was talking about Keanu Reeves coming back.
Yep.
Untitled Elvis Presley film.
That's the one, Baz Luhrmann's film. That's the one Tom Hanks is working on playing Colonel Parker and got the coronavirus.
That's where he got the corona in Australia. The Batman. I know a lot of people are pissed about that one.
Yeah, I'm devastated by that one.
Fantastic Beasts 3, King Richard.
King Richard, that's the Will Smith one, right? The Serena Sisters movie there.
Yeah.
So, oh, man.
I know.
Gosh, but that's not it. If the
It's not
movie
it.
was finished, you still ain't going to see it because of all the theaters closed. So get this, guys. Disney has postponed the release of Mulan, New Mutants, and Antlers, and just announced a couple days ago, Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Now, I want to talk about Black Widow for a minute, though, because as you guys know, and if you listen to the show, you know, if you're a comic book geek like me, you know, Phase 4 is not just the movies, guys. It's also integrated and woven together with all of the Disney Plus series coming on. So, Black Widow was supposed to kick that off, but if Black Widow does not hit the release date that it was supposed to, and WandaVision stays on course to go on to Disney Plus when it was supposed to, everything's going to be fucked up. Because those are interwoven together and lead into each other, all leading to coming out of the Disney Plus shows and into Doctor Strange. So then what?
I don't know,
Like,
man.
I mean, you're going to be learning shit that you're going to be questioning, like, because you wouldn't have seen Black Widow
people
yet.
are going to be
And
confused. So it's going to be really interesting. I mean, I know a lot of people are petitioning and freaking pulling for Disney to release it on Disney Plus.
And I think that might end up being the option because if otherwise you're going to have to just postpone all of the Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
And right now nobody wants that because they're looking for stuff to watch.
Exactly.
So at least with Black Widow. And then if you want to do a re-release in the theaters when you're able to, because I think that would only be fair for Scarlett Johansson.
I agree.
But for right now, I don't think it would be a bad idea to release that shit on Disney Plus and kick off Phase 4 on time and not screw up everything else with the shows.
I think it would be smart as well because you would gain a lot of subscribers just because of that movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they released Frozen 2 early.
Yeah.
They're talking bringing the Rise of Skywalker, so all 9 Skywalker saga films are going to be available. They're doing all that early. So, yeah, I mean, how many people do you think would sign up to watch Black Widow? A shit ton.
Fucking lots.
We've got some numbers on that. Wait until you hear these numbers about Disney Plus and why these people are signing up.
Yeah.
Woo. I mean, so yeah, I agree with you. I think it would be a good idea.
It's super crazy. But like we said, things that are already like almost done are almost close to being done. Universal's Fast and Furious 9 has been moved from its May 22nd global premiere date to April 9th of 2021. That's a whole year.
Yeah. I mean, that
damn.
was like intense.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just a few months, guys. What
I
the fuck?
know.
This one really pissed me off because this was supposed to be this week, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. I was
Yeah.
super excited. Paramount's A Quiet Place 2.
Fucked up.
Not happening.
Nope.
Delayed and no new date announced. And it was ready. It was supposed to open this week.
Yeah.
I was just so fucked up about that.
Exactly, and even with Sony, they have shifted its global launch date of Peter Rabbit 2 that James Corden won
Yep.
to August 7th, which was set to premiere April 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, so that another couple of months wait. Magnolia Pictures is moving their theatrical release of gerrymandering documentary Slay the Dragon from March to April. Now, this was from March 13th to April 3rd. I think it's going to be pushed back even further. I wouldn't be surprised if
yeah.
we see another announcement
Yeah.
because we know now it's going past April 3rd.
Yeah, I think
So-
they're just trying to stay hopeful.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, I understand, but shit, man, it really freaking sucks. And I mean, MGM, Eon, and Universal postponed the global release dates of the James Bond one, No Time to Die,
Yes.
from April 2nd to now April 10th.
That's no time to die, but plenty of time for Corona.
Yeah.
I mean, that fucking sucks.
Or no,
dude.
it postponed to the International Easter weekend was supposed to be April 10th, but now it's November 25th.
Yeah, so dude,
That one was
sucks.
basically done too.
I know, and I wanted to really see that one. I was excited about that. Craig's last outing as Bond.
Yeah.
It looks so badass.
Exactly.
I mean, Disney also confirmed the personal history of David Copperfield's been
Yeah.
moved to, off of its May 8th release date. So, guys, if you're seeing the trend here, The Woman in the Window is another one. Anything that was supposed to basically be released between March and the end of May has been postponed.
Yeah.
As far as movies go, so. And I don't even know how we get into this.
I know, it's
Like-
so difficult, guys. I mean, be prepared.
Yeah, because they're what is everybody telling you to do right now? They're like, oh no, watch TV, catch up on your shows, yeah, catch up on the new seasons of this and that. The problem is, guys, that it's also been production of TV shows has been halted also.
Yep.
So you might be able to catch up on the current season, but in a couple of weeks there's going to be no new episodes.
Exactly.
Because they halted production. So you'll be all caught up and then no new episodes.
Exactly.
Which is going to suck because I've heard apparently some of these companies are telling the stars and the crew that the season's done.
Yeah.
They're not going to re-pick up production, that
super
they're just
crazy.
cutting the season short and it's
Yeah.
going to be done. Which I will say, I was in a panic mode, but I did see the story yesterday. For Supernatural fans, don't freak out. Okay, my Supernatural family, don't freak out. They have assured they will indeed come back once cleared and finish the season because, as you guys know, it's the final season. It's the send-off. It's the big goodbye, and they were not going to leave the fans hanging like that. So,
Yeah, which makes complete sense.
yeah, because what the fuck? That would have been screwed up big time, right?
Yeah, if they would have fucking just halted and just not come back to that one, that would
oh
have
my
been super
God,
fucked
people
up.
would have been so fucking pissed.
Yeah, but I hope you guys are ready for this one. Sit down, grab a cup of or a bag of popcorn, because this is going to be a long one.
Yeah, this is hilarious. We're going to break it up for you. Broadcast shows, streaming shows, cable shows. Like, we're going to try to catch. If you watch TV on any platform and you have a favorite, you're probably going to be pissed after this segment.
Right.
But we're going to try to get it to you.
Yeah.
You want to take broadcast? Let's go broadcast first.
Fuck it. We got All Rise, CBS, American Housewife, ABC, America's Got Talent, NBC, America's Ninja Warrior, NBC. We got The Amazing Race, CBS, The Bachelor, ABC, The Bachelorette, ABC, Batwoman, the CW, The Blacklist, NBC, Bob Hart, Abajla,
Yep.
CBS. I haven't heard of that one, but all right. The Bold and the Beautiful. I know your mom's super pissed
Yeah,
about
she
that
is
one.
not happy about the soap operas.
CBS, The Brides, ABC, Bull, CBS, Card Sharks, ABC, Charms, the CW, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago Med, all NBC, Claws, TNT, Dynasty, the CW, Empire, which is also on its final season.
Which I'm curious because we have not heard an announcement about that. Is Empire done? They're just like, fuck it, this season's over.
Right.
Because this is also their final, So
Yeah,
I don't know.
mean,
We'll see.
We got FBI's Most Wanted, The Flash, General Hospital, God Friend and Me, The Goldbergs, Grey's Anatomy, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Last Man Standing, Law and Order SVU, The Late Late Show with James Corden, Late Night with Seth Meyers, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Legacies, Nancy Drew, NCIS, NCIS Los Angeles, NCIS New Orleans, The Neighborhood, New Amsterdam, Next, The Prince is Right, The Resident, Riverdale, Saturday Night Live, Schooled, SEAL Team, Supergirl, Supernatural, Superstore, Survivor, SWAT, The Talk, Tonight with Jimmy Fallon, The Young and the Restless, which is another one she's pissed
Oh,
about,
yeah.
And Young Sheldon.
Yeah, and God Friended Me and all the NCISs. My mom is not a happy camper.
No.
No, she is not a happy camper. Guys, so basically, if you got that right, any show on broadcast television is basically done with production and been halted. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Well, that's okay. I watch a lot of shows on cable, too. You know, I love my cable channels.
Yeah.
Well, Atlanta, Impeachment, American Crime Story, The Bold Type, The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, Euphoria, Fargo, Fear the Walking Dead, Full Frontal with Samantha Bee, Genius, Aretha, Godmothered, Home and Family, Kennedy, Kevin Can Fuck Himself, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, 3 Out with David Spade, The Oval, Pennyworth, Pose, Queen of the South, Queen Sugar, Real Time with Bill Maher, The Righteous Gemstones, Snowfall, Snowpiercer, Trish Reagan Primetime, The Walking Dead, Watch What Happens Live, and Why. Production all halted.
All gone. Yeah.
All gone. Production all done.
Oh my goodness, man, it's super crazy, and that's not all.
No, because what? You strip to the streamers, right?
Yeah.
And just whoop.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Going to the streamers, Angeline, Peacock, Animal Kingdom, The Big Shot, Carnival Row, got The Falcon the Winter Soldier,
Yes.
The Flight Attendant, For All Mankind, Foundation, Grace and Frankie, The Handmaid's Tale, The Good Fight, Leslie Story, Little America, Loki, Lord of the Rings, Lucifer, Mankind, The Morning Show, Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet, The Orville, Pen 15, Penis, whatever you want to think it is, Prank Encounters, Russian Doll, Rutherford Falls, Sea, Servants, Sex/Life, Sisters, Stranger Things, Tuning Out, The News.
Which I was so excited about. We just talked about
Yeah,
that on
last
last week's
week.
show about Stephen Colbert's animated news show and everything. Nope.
Nope, just kidding, not happening. Untitled, Julia Roberts Project, Varsity Blues, WandaVision, The Wheel of Time, The Witcher.
Yeah, and you think you're going to be okay, right? You think, no, I can still turn to Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil will get me through this coronavirus.
He's got me.
No.
No, he does not.
Dr. Phil, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, Family Feud, The Kelly Clarkson Show, The Mel Robbins Show, Tamron Hall, and The Wendy Williams Show.
It's gone.
All done, production over. So basically, guys, you're going to be watching a lot of old shows.
Yeah.
Or
Seriously.
if hopefully everybody kind of follows suit with like Disney and all these, bringing the stuff early to the streamers that, earlier than planned. Otherwise, I hope you had a favorite show that you liked. Watch all 13 seasons of The Big Bang Theory or like all the seasons of Friends or something because, it's going to be long.
Yeah, man. I mean, it really sucks. It really freaking sucks.
Yeah, man. And this one, look, guys, we're doing it from the home office, right? We're having a good time and everything. All the biggies are too, y'all. Among those like employees to work at home, NBC Universal, Viacom CBS, Warner Media, Netflix, Amazon Studios, STX, Creative Artists Agency, ICM Partners, and Paradigm have all ordered their people to stay the fuck home and work from home. I know a lot of the major news broadcasters are too now, like ABC and like a lot of them, the behind the scenes people are working from home.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, there's been some huge industry events / parties, like opening premiere parties. You got the 31st GLAAD Awards, GLAAD Media Awards. You got the Sports Emmy Awards. You got the 2020 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony, Quibi's launch party, which was so super exciting. I was waiting for that one.
Me too.
Disney Plus's European launch, and I mean, you got festivals as well.
Yeah, the Downtown Los Angeles Film Festival, the Tribeca Film Festival. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Coachella. I mean, that one was a big one. Stagecoach, South by Southwest. I mean, all these festivals, guys, postponed. Jazz Fest. We just heard that Jazz Fest was also pushed back till November. So if you were planning on hitting your summer, music festivals. Nope.
Exactly. And this is literally going everywhere, guys, from wrestling to UFC, and WWE. WWE, let's start with that one.
Yeah.
It's WrestleMania, which is basically the Super Bowl of professional wrestling.
Definitely.
It moved it from Tampa, Florida to practice a facility in Orlando. Will for the pay-per-view event without an audience.
Yeah, what good is a
Yeah.
WWE wrestling event without a live audience?
Like 50% of it is the crowd.
Yeah,
Like
that's gonna be so weird.
exactly.
UFC.
Yeah.
Like you said, UFC fight nights set for March 21st, March 28th, and April 11th. But its high-profile bout between Tony Ferguson and Khabib Nurmagomedov remains scheduled for April 18th. So the other one's postponed, but the biggie for April 18th, as of right now, guys, still going on April 18th.
Right,
So.
and I mean, it's led into the Major League Baseball Association has expanded the delay of its opening day, which was set to begin March 26th, but the commissioner said March 16th that the date had already been pushed back 2 weeks, and it will be delayed further in accordance to the CDC guidelines restricting the event 50 people in that next 8 weeks. So
Yeah, man. And golf, the PGA Tour's postponed all of its golf events, including the Masters and Players Championship.
Fucking crazy.
The Boston Marathon has been moved to September.
Yeah.
They're not going to run the Boston Marathon on time. I know this next one.
So pissed.
Yeah.
So fucking pissed. We know they were going to do it without any crowds. March Madness, it wasn't going to have any audience, but now NCAA has canceled its national championships, including the big dance and the women's basketball tournament.
Yeah, I had my bracket all filled out, bro. I was good to go. I was excited about this.
Everybody's going to have a perfect bracket.
Yeah, I mean, the bracket, we're spot on. I'm winning the pool this year. It's
Right.
going to be great. It's
Like
going to be.
shit.
But, they followed suit. The NBA canceled their season.
Makes
and
sense.
so, I mean, it only made sense that the NCAA did the same
Yeah,
thing.
and I mean, now even the Major League Soccer has also suspended the season for 30 days.
Yep. Hockey League, National Hockey League's done it. This next one, though, guys, the Olympics may be in jeopardy. The fucking Olympics.
This would be super crazy if this happens.
Yeah. The Greek Olympic Committee said that the traditional Olympic flame lighting ceremony on March 12th will be closed to the public. I mean, this is normally a huge event, guys.
Yeah.
This is when they take it, and this is when they start the torch. You guys know that the torch travels all over the world to wherever the Olympics are going to be held. But it's always lit initially in Greece.
Yeah.
Or in Greece, where the first Olympics happened. Well, now it's not even going to be shown to the public, not even going to be... Public's not even going to be allowed to go. So, and like I said, it may be shut down. The Olympics may be shut down. No word yet. Right now, everybody is still having their athletes ready and prepping. But, I mean, guys, like you said, if that happens, whew.
Like, yeah, and then what do? Postpone it the whole 4 years?
Right,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, I guess you would have to just, eliminate those games.
Yeah.
Because... I mean, you can't throw it off the schedule.
No.
Then it fucks up the Winter Olympics.
Everything.
And then, I mean, yeah, you can't. Oh, man. Fuck you, coronavirus.
I know, seriously, it's so fucking shitty. Like, it's ruining our lives, guys.
It is.
It's seriously ruining our lives.
It is. But look, there are a lot of people in our industry that are stand-up, genuine, decent human beings
It's true.
who are doing their part to help out as many people as they can that are hurting right now, not just in the industry, but in whole. Several high-profile showrunners, guys. Greg Berlanti, Shonda Rhimes, David Benoit, Julie Piec, Damon Lindelof, Lisa Joy, Jonah Nolan. They've all come together and they've formed a relief effort for Hollywood support staffers because, guys, like we said, the PAs, the office assistants, the support staff, these are the people that work day to day and it's the equivalent of a day job or a retail job or, they don't get paid like uber bucks.
No.
So they're hurting right now. So these people have all come together. They've got this thing together, and they're going to be paying the low-paid group that often goes overlooked. The Hollywood Support Staff COVID-19 Relief Fund, that's a badass name, is the brainchild of Pay Up Hollywood, Script Notes, Junior Hollywood Radio and Television Society, and it aims to help Los Angeles-based support staff remain financially stable during the weeks that the productions have gone dark. So they're basically doling out between $450 and $900 to all of these people, and their goal is to raise about $100,000 to keep them going over the next couple of weeks.
That's good because, I mean, you don't want these people to go without any money. Like,
No.
I mean, the government has been talking about sending out some relief funds literally to every person and every child. But for that time being, these people, while the sets are cut off, like, we need to still have like money revenue going to them.
Yeah, and it's so funny too because I saw a story just today before we were recording the guys, the low-paid ones aren't the only ones worried. When all the movies and TV shows started shutting down, apparently all the agencies got overwhelmed with phone calls by A-listers
I
saying,
can
"Hey,
imagine.
are we still getting paid?" Like, because we're under
Yeah,
contract and
exactly.
I want my 20 million or like whatever. So they just were blown away with phone calls about, are we getting paid? So it's not just the lower staff that are worried about it.
No, I mean it's super crazy. Amy Adams and Jennifer Gardner, they have teamed up, and Social Logic, a global children's publishing, education, and media company, to launch Save with the Stories, hashtag Save with Stories, which will benefit Save the Children and Share Our Strengths No Kids Hungry Camp, which will help all these kids during the coronavirus
Exactly.
pandemic.
Exactly. They're going to still get their free lunches. They're going to still get all their reading materials and all. I mean, Scholastic's always been a great company. But kudos to Amy Adams. Both, moms, both,
Yeah.
so they're aware of this and what's going on. And what's really cool is they're all getting their celebrity friends to share their favorite books,
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
stories on Instagram. I know Josh Gad has been literally reading a child story every day,
Yeah.
going live and reading a children's
Yeah.
story every day. So that's pretty cool.
I love how entertainers have been doing that as well. They've been
Yeah.
going live and either doing live concerts like John Legend did the other night,
Yeah.
or Coldplay's lead singer, and just a whole bunch of people are going live to still give these people the entertainment, because basically when and if we get quarantine mandatory for like the 2 weeks, that social media is going to be our basically communication right there.
It is. It is. I mean, and trust me. I mean, I don't want to put fear. I don't want to put words in people's mouths, but I really do think the mandatory quarantine is coming because
Yeah.
people are just not listening and staying inside. By the way, one of the best ones I've seen, though, I think the funniest, maybe most entertaining one is our previous guest, Catherine McNamara.
Yeah.
She's doing this little series of videos with her boyfriend Bob.
Oh my
And
goodness,
it's
yeah.
those workout dummies that you can beat the shit out of, karate and boxing and
Yeah.
all that. Well, that's her boyfriend Bob. And every day she's been posting what her and her boyfriend Bob have been doing during quarantine, and it's like fucking building a treadmill, or they're dancing, or they're
So
doing
funny.
it's oh my god, it's so fucking funny. If y'all haven't seen those, follow Catherine McNamara, watch those. My quarantine with Bob, my boyfriend Bob, too fucking funny, man.
Hell yeah. But this A-list couple right here, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, they have announced their Mint Cell phone company is giving free service and new and existing customers the midst of the coronavirus.
Yes.
The celebrity power couple announced that they are donating $1 million nonprofit efforts in Canada to help those impacted by this illness.
Yeah, because you guys know Ryan Reynolds is Canadian.
Yes.
So, but yeah, kudos to them. I mean, if you guys don't know, and you should, because we've talked about this numerous times, Ryan Reynolds and Blake bought a cell phone company.
Yeah.
They took out an ad in a newspaper. Remember during the Super Bowl, they made a big joke about that or whatever. So, giving away free cell phone service and $1 million for the nonprofits. And I mean, these guys are straight up, awesome people.
Yeah, I
You
agree,
know?
man. I'm happy to see all of these celebrities because, a lot of people feel like once these celebrities hit the big time, they turn into assholes and don't care about quote unquote normal day people. Well, that's not true, guys. Obviously, they still care and they're still willing to help because they can.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. I mean, they're just normal people like everybody else,
Exactly.
and they're worried about it and they want to do their part to help. And so yeah, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that. I think
Yeah.
a lot more people are going to start to do that. Okay, so this is what I was talking about a little earlier. Because, okay, first of all, there's a rumor out there that Apple is like thinking about buying Disney. Not true, guys. That is not true. That is a rumor.
That'd be too big.
I
That'd
mean-
be Monopoly type shit.
There was talk. I think
Too
this
big.
rumor just sparked because in Bob Iger's book, he mentioned that if Steve Jobs was still alive, he thought the two would probably have merged by
Yeah.
now. But look, guys, they're saying it because Apple's sitting on a shit ton of cash, like
Yeah.
they always have, and Disney is suffering right now with the stock drop and losing revenue. So they're worried, they're cash strapped, they're going to get bought out. But no, Disney has filed a pair of filings with the SEC this week They registered plans to raise fresh cash by selling debt securities and notes. And they outlined the risks to their business from the coronavirus. They basically told the SEC the outbreak of the novel coronavirus COVID-19 and measures to prevent its spread are affecting our business in a number of ways. We should be considered in connection with investment in the notes. The ultimate significance of the impact of these disruptions, including their extent on our businesses, adverse impact on our financial and operational results will be dictated by the length of time that such disruptions continue, which will in turn depend on currently unknowable duration of the virus. So Disney is making plans, man. They're raising some cash. They're trying to make sure that they can make their payments on debt and keep things rolling, because right now, like we said at the top of the show, dude, they're $350,000 a day.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
losing. So they got to be raising some money.
Once they purchased / bought out Fox Entertainment, they took on Fox's debt as well.
Yeah,
so they're also paying that along with their own.
Yeah, and when that debt's structured, guys, you have to hit these payments. You have to make payments on this finance debt, and if you miss those payments, you're in all kinds of trouble. So Disney is doing everything. Bob Iger and now Bob Chapek, they're smart guys. They're gonna handle it. They're gonna be fine. The mouse will be fine.
This is definitely some shit to walk into.
It is though. Bob Chapek was like, "Fuck, this is when you walk away, Bob." All right, fuck. I mean, that's a good point. Oh, Bob Chapek is like, "Fuck you, Bob Iger."
Right. At least he's still there to help. Like,
yeah,
shit.
right. It's like, no, you ain't going anywhere during Corona.
Right? Like fuck.
Oh my gosh. But guys, not all things are bad for Disney right now.
No.
And this could help generate. This is why we were saying release Black Widow, get them on there and everything. Guys, half of all the U.S. internet users with children under the age of 10 in their households have already subscribed to Disney Plus.
Smart as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, especially since these kids are not going to school, that's so smart.
Exactly.
I mean, this service is built for younger kids.
Exactly. Also, more than 4 in 10 of 18 to 20, that's the key demographic, by the way, guys. That's the key all of us are shooting for. That's what we're shooting for with our projects, movies. 18 to 24, guys. 41% of the 18 to 24-year-olds say they already have access to the service. And the reason why? Star Wars and Marvel. The Mandalorian and all the Marvel series are the reason they signed up. Makes sense then to release Black Widow and keep all that shit going.
Exactly. And I'll be honest, that was me. That's really the only reason I signed up for Disney Plus. Sometimes I'll have a nostalgia moment and like watch all the old Disney movies like out of the vault and shit like that. And we watched Steamboat Willie because we had never seen it before, and that's the fucking classic what built Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, the first film.
Exactly. So I mean, it's shit like that, but I'm not watching like the new kid Disney shows. I'm just saying. This is why. But they are super smart with all these younger kids.
Yeah, and I mean, right now they said 41%, half of households with kids under 10 and 41% of the 8. They could increase both those numbers, I think, if they just release shit early now.
Especially Black Widow.
Yeah,
I mean, especially Black Widow.
Especially Black Widow, because we want to keep that shit on track, man.
Exactly.
I want to see Black Widow go right into WandaVision, into Captain America, Winter Soldier and Falcon, and just like roll it, man.
Agreed.
Don't fuck that up. Come on, Disney.
No, but I mean, with the quarantine, you can watch all the Marvel movies in chronological order now. You'll have time.
Yeah, exactly.
I know this next one's really weird, especially after like a few months ago we reported that she directed a porno.
Yes,
and now she is partnering with Fox. We're talking about Bella Thorne.
Yes, a former Disney show guy. I forget what the name of that show was. She was on with Zendaya.
Yeah,
I mean, one went one way. One went the other.
I mean, Zendaya getting naked on Euphoria and shit.
Yeah, but she ain't directing porn.
Fair enough. I
mean, come on.
Fair enough.
but not that there's anything wrong with that, Bella Thorne, if that's what you're going to do.
No.
Anyway, she has signed a huge development deal. The terms weren't disclosed, but apparently it's a rather large chunk of money to do scripted and unscripted content with Fox. She joins a growing list of talented people who have not directed porn that we know of. Kylie Killen from Halo and Mind Games, Mara Braca Keeley from Black Lightning, Jeff Davis, Criminal Minds, Sarah Watson. So a lot of people have signed up. Now, we should clarify. while Disney bought all of Fox's content, News Corp still owns Fox Network.
Right.
So like Disney got all the rights to all the shows that are on Fox Network. They bought all the rights to all the content, but the actual network itself was not part of that deal.
Right, like Fox News and shit like that.
Yeah,
right?
they still own the Fox Broadcasting Network. So she signed with, because I know what you're thinking. Well, what the fuck? You're talking about she directed porn and Disney signed her, but
Right, yeah.
they don't own the Fox Network. That's
yeah.
still owned by News Corp. So she signed with them, not Disney.
Yeah.
Them.
No, it's confusing. It's really weird.
But we needed to clarify that because
yeah.
we do not want to put out there in any way, shape. I do not want Bob Iger calling me saying that we said Disney signed a porn director to their thing. We did not say that.
I mean, he can call you. That'd be fine.
I mean, it would be so many other things to talk to him about, but I don't want him to call me for that reason.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
We didn't say it. She signed with Fox.
Right.
Fox. Disney's still a family-friendly, all those households with 10-year-olds. Yeah.
I bet somebody at Disney was like, what the fuck, though?
Oh,
when they saw this, they were like,
come on. This next one, I know. Yeah, let's get into this because I know much like it pisses me off.
It does, man, and this is not the first time it's happened on this show.
Yeah.
This show has been like, I don't understand why they are not taking safety precautions, or at least enough safety precautions.
Yeah.
I mean, a production assistant that was working on Batwoman in Vancouver is currently paralyzed following an accident that happened on set.
Yeah, she was apparently, Amanda Smith is her name, she was apparently working on the set when a boom lift bucket was lowered onto her head, trapping her underneath, serious spinal injuries, and she's been unable to feel anything from the waist down even after the corrective surgery.
I'd be getting paid.
I mean,
I'd be
seriously
suing.
though. But remember, I mean, like you said, this is the second time Ruby Rose herself, the main star,
yeah.
she got injured pretty seriously and was at risk for paralysis.
Yeah.
Underwent emergency neck surgery. Thankfully, she recovered fully and everything. And then remember on the set of Riverdale with AJ Kappa there, or like when the CW has been having some issues with their sets, man, and they got to get that shit under control.
They really do, and it really frustrates me because this is supposed to be their job. Yes, it can be dangerous, but the above the line people, really anyone who is on the producing side of things and behind the scenes needs to make sure this shit is set up properly so shit like this does not happen.
Yeah, agreed. And we should say, to be fair, the CW is not the only. I mean, remember the Walking Dead stuntman died. The movie, the person on the movie that was being shot in Georgia, or whatever, she died on the train tracks or whatever. Guys, our point is that a lot of stunt performers have lost their lives and or been seriously injured on sets of movies and TV shows, and it seems to be happening a lot more frequently.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's frustrating.
First of all, these people aren't even recognized.
Yeah.
How many times have we talked about on the show, give them an Oscar category or give them this or that? They're hardly, you wouldn't know their name if you walked by them on the street. You wouldn't know who they were.
No.
But these people are dying for these productions, and I feel like something's got to change, man. Something has got to change.
What the hell, man? Warner Media, and you didn't put in Friends. You didn't put in Friends.
I'm sorry, I just didn't want to piss you off.
This is why I set out all my Friends Funkos right here today.
All right,
because in memoriam, guys, everybody saw that the Friends reunion special is not moving forward due to the coronavirus.
That's right.
So this right here, if you're watching the YouTube video, all of the 6 friends, my Funkos, are right here. They'll be there for you.
They will. It's being postponed. We don't want to scare people. They're not like walking away from it, but we don't know when it's going to happen now. So
it's so sad.
I mean, not even the friends want to like go fuck with the coronavirus.
No, I miss my friends.
You watch them every day.
I know,
you can't miss them. You can't miss them.
Still, it's not fair. It's not fair.
He wants Jennifer Aniston, or like, just to be honest, any of them to come on the show.
Yeah, seriously.
Me too. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Me too. I watched Friends when it was first on.
Yeah. I watched Friends literally when I was a baby. Like, my mom was like, "Here, watch this instead of cartoons," and I was like, "Okay," and then that's where I fell in love.
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant show.
Seriously.
So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Exactly.
When will this reunion happen?
Exactly. Speaking of another brilliant show, but is under some controversy right now.
Yeah.
When They See Us, Emmy nominated or Emmy winning.
Yeah.
When They See Us, Netflix limited series. The director Ava DuVernay has now been sued by a former Central Park 5 prosecutor, Linda Fairstein, for defamation.
Yeah. She was played by what's her name from? She's in the college scandal. Felicity Huffman. Remember, she did a fantastic job in the movie and everything.
Yeah.
That's who portrayed her.
Why.
So that's
Yeah.
the character that we're talking about. But apparently, real life Linda Fairstein was not happy with the way the film portrayed her. The suit stems from her portrayal in the film, which she says. The 4-part series paints her as a racist, unethical villain who was determined to jail innocent children of color at any cost. It goes on to say that the complaint insists that her depiction in the miniseries is complete fabrication and readily contradicted by evidence in the public record. So there you go. She's saying that they just made shit up, even though this was based on actual fact and true story. She's saying that it's not true. There's public record to say that it's not true.
Right.
She's seeking damages because she said her prosecutorial career has been damaged by it. And not only so she's seeking damages for it, financial damages for it, but she is seeking a public apology. And she wants a disclaimer on the series saying that it's fictional in certain aspects. And she wants all of her scenes that she said she feels are inaccurate or misrepresented taken out of the film.
Nice.
So that's a lot. And we
Yeah.
should say it's Netflix and Ava DuVernay and the co-writer Attica Locke. All of them have been sued.
Wow.
Yeah, Netflix responded saying that Linda Fairstein's frivolous lawsuit is without merit. They intend to vigorously defend When They See Us and Ava and Attica and all of the incredible team behind the series, and they will fight it hardcore in court. So
Yeah, I would be surprised if the real life prosecutor wins. Just in my opinion, just because it's so popular, Emmy-winning series, and I mean it's Netflix. They have money.
It's gonna be interesting because if she indeed does have public record stuff that was altered, but the film says that it's fictional, and that while based on a true story, they didn't take it straight from kind of a thing. And my concern is if she does win even just a little chunk of this lawsuit, that's going to set huge precedent for anybody that's trying to make based on a true story movies.
Yeah.
Because, basically, we've already kind of seen this with Clint Eastwood's recent one.
Yeah.
Remember where they said that the reporter she wasn't a slut. She didn't sleep with the FBI agent. She didn't do this. She didn't do that. So we're already running into this about where portrayals of characters that are misrepresented, if you will. So, I don't know, man. I think this would set a huge precedent. Basically, that one was laughed out too and said, "There's nothing. It's a movie. Get over it," kind of a thing. So this could be huge if she wins. I'm with you. I think she won't, but if she did, it could be a lot to go down with future movies.
Yeah, man, super crazy. It's super fucking crazy. But the Hallmark Channel, they're trying to bring light to all of this shit that's going down in the world today.
Christmas lights.
Christmas lights. The Hallmark Channel has set a Christmas movie marathon amid the coronavirus outbreak.
Yes.
We Need a Little Christmas, a special marathon featuring countdown to Christmas movies beginning Friday, March 20th, which is today, through Sunday, March 22nd.
It's a little weekend marathon because we need a little Christmas.
Everybody does.
Need a little Christmas. And Hallmark is the only place to go when you need a little Christmas. But smart. They know their niche. They know where their target audience is. They know those people are sitting home right now, probably have their kids home from school and everything. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Put on some Christmas movies, Hallmark movies, and that makes everybody happy.
Exactly.
Boom. So good for them.
Exactly. It's the happiest time of the year. And you know what? We have not heard a cancellation of their Christmas con thing.
Yeah, not yet. So,
not yet.
Not yet. I bet their Christmas in July stuff can be like iffy though at this point. But so hopefully if it's still going on by December,
Yeah, that would really fucking suck.
No, it would literally be The Walking fucking Dead.
Literally.
I mean, I'd be carrying around my hockey stick and
Right, yeah,
I'd just
right.
be waiting to like kill people for canned beans
Exactly.
and shit. Like, what the fuck?
Put like a knife at the
I
end.
know.
It would be great.
It would be.
Great.
Look, he's already panicking. He's like
I'm
taking the mic.
freaking
He's like,
out.
I'm gonna shock the shit out of you. It's gonna be great.
Freaking out.
All kidding aside, though, guys, to wrap this whole thing up, because there's been a lot of corona, social distancing.
Yeah.
It is not that hard. We have social media. You know, if you don't want to get on social media and talk that way, guys, read a book, do a jigsaw puzzle, just something. Even our top 5 this week, we're going to give you some ideas about what to do if you're quarantined or isolated or whatever. But, guys, you got to take this shit seriously, man, or it's not going to end.
Exactly.
I mean,
There's a lot of cases right now that people are actually dying. I mean, young.
Yeah, young 40s and younger. And I mean, so you got to take this. And what's scary is they're coming out with saying that for every 10 that are reported, you know, by hospitals and by the media, there's probably another 15 or 20 that have it who haven't been reported yet.
Right.
So it's a much worse pandemic than what we know already.
Yeah.
So guys, I mean, and if you do go outside, be smart about it.
Exactly.
Go find you an isolated track somewhere, or, you know, just go out minimal, like run to get the toilet paper, get the fuck back inside.
Exactly.
Those kind of things. Anyway.
Doesn't need to be too crazy, guys.
It doesn't.
Need to be crazy. But anyway, it's time for our Bradley Gallo interview. Oh my goodness, we teased it at the top of the show. So good, so good. I'm so excited for the up-and-comers to hear this one. I mean, this is what this podcast is about. Expressing, learning, and just basically anything entertainment industry, especially if you're trying to break into the entertainment industry. This is a need to be listened interview that you need to listen to.
A need to. That's perfect. A need to listen interview that you need to listen to.
Exactly.
All kidding aside, this guy is brilliant, and his way, his philosophy of life and how he lives it is spot on. And I mean, you guys are going to learn so much from him. I think the key thing that I took away from it is whenever you have as much success as you have, you still haven't made it.
Exactly.
And you'll find out what we're talking about with that. So
Exactly. Well, here the man himself is, Bradley Gallo. Hey, Bradley, what's going on, man?
Hello.
I'd like to officially welcome you inside the Crazy Ant Farm. You'll be talking with myself, Logan, and my co-host, Dustin, today.
what's up?
Hey, Dustin.
Hey, man, how's it going?
I'm good. You know, my wife is pregnant, and so she's 3 months in, which is really exciting.
Oh, wow.
And,
Congratulations.
And we got a dog, and all we need is the house.
There you go.
Got the picture perfect family, man.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Getting there.
Yeah.
But like I was telling Olivia, and I'm pretty sure you saw, you're kind of the epitome that we want to be. We also have a production company, but we also do this podcast. So we're going to learn a lot about what you do today, and it's going to help us on our journey and where we go with our production company and just so much more. But what we'd like to do at the beginning of each interview is kind of introduce you to our listeners, because we have a lot of listeners who are trying to also break into the entertainment industry. So we like to ask our guests, how'd you get started in the entertainment industry? We see that you have a background in journalism. Did you always just want to be a writer? Like, how'd you get started, man?
Yeah, well, the thing I always try to tell people who are coming up is there is no straight line
Yeah,
into this
right.
world at all. And when you start looking for it, you're like, I'm just going to do what he did. You're forget it. It ain't going to happen, right? So for me, it was I wanted to be, when I was, my 5th grade yearbook shows me wanting to be an actor, right? And I think a lot of people in this industry feel that way when they're young. And you just realize it's creative expression that you're in love with, and you just don't know which way that's going to go. And as I was growing up, I was kind of getting practical and wanted to be a veterinarian for a while. So, and the reason why I wanted to be a veterinarian was because I would read these books, these stories by James Herriot, who is like a fantastic veterinarian writer that wrote these great novels. And I fell in love with the stories, but didn't know it was the stories I was falling in love with. So I thought I wanted to be a veterinarian, right? In the end, it came back to the stories that were hooking me. And as I went down the path of saying I wanted to be a filmmaker, I went to college on a traditional route. I was in college to be a vet, so I was in pre-vet. And like about sophomore year, I was just having this anxiety of this is not the route, this is not for me. I really need to be in storytelling, and so I started taking those electives, screenplay classes. They happened to have them. They were not ranked in any high end. My university was Penn State, but they didn't have a big ranking film school. I just taken like whatever there was, and then I started to write screenplays in college, and I was not a good writer, but I was doing it anyway, figuring. And it was during the time that Edward Burns was coming up, and you were making movies at Sundance, $25,000 to make a movie, and 35 millimeter, and that was like the big deal. And he did it black and white or whatever. So I was reading his books and getting excited and thinking that I could just write my own screenplay, raise the money, produce the movie, star in it, direct it. That was the mindset. So I modeled that, and I made this movie that I'm never going to let anyone see. That I raised $150,000 from doctors, lawyers, friends, family, the typical thing at that time. Giving it in $25,000 increments. Putting together subscription documents, learning all this on the fly. I didn't go to school for it. Never went to film school. Never went to business school. Just kind of trying to figure it out. I'm not smarter than anyone else. Definitely not than your listeners. And I was just a good pitcher. I had a lot of energy. So I'd be in the room, and I wrote the screenplay about a summer camp in danger of being sold. The kids try to save it. I'm like, I can house the crew. I can shoot the film. I can feed them all in one location on this summer camp that I had a connection to because I went to it for like 20 years.
Oh, nice.
And I looked for the time frame when the summer was over and found a slot for like 12 to 18 days and just started to put it together. Honestly, I was writing checks then. There was no Venmo. It was you were like writing checks, and I thought 35 millimeter was the thing. There was no digital, so it was all about anamorphic lenses, which made no sense, but I did it anyway. And I don't know, I was kind of crazy. I feel like when you're young, when you have a lot of energy, you're in your 20s, and you think your ego's huge, and it actually helps propel you. I've been smacked down a few times now, so things have changed. But and you just have all this energy, and you have all this like almost know-how by like ego, and you just push and push and push, and people are excited about that. People get very addicted to that, or feel that they want to be in your presence. And when they do that, when you're in front of a lawyer who's like sitting in his job and like miserable, and he's like, here's $25,000, what does that mean? But I get to be a part of this movie that this guy's so great, and I think he'll be the next whatever. That's sort of what happens. And the movie was terrible, but that's not the point.
Exactly.
I didn't know anything. I didn't learn anything. Sorry, about like knowing that it's about I wrote a film about 15-year-olds. Well, you don't know about 15-year-olds. 15-year-olds don't watch 15-year-olds. 8-year-olds don't watch 15-year-olds. 20-something-year-olds don't watch. Nobody wants to watch 15-year-olds.
Right.
But I don't think about marketing. I didn't know any of that stuff. So that's where I started, and I made this movie. Got into 6 film festivals, but they weren't big. They weren't Sundance. They were like you never heard of them.com festival, and then, I won an award for cinematography, but I wasn't the cinematographer. And it just sort of led in this way where this company came around and said, we'd like to distribute your film. And I'm like jumping up and down.
Right.
But today, if I thought about that company, I would be like, I can't believe I thought that was a company.
No.
But no way. But then it was amazing. So it ended up getting distribution on DVD and whatever they did, foreign sales, and we kind of did all right, and made some money back, but not a lot. But it was just one of those things where it was a step. It was like this is for me. How do I keep doing it? And then I wrote another screenplay, and it was much better than the next one. But it was September 11th hit, kind of like today is hitting.
Right.
And you couldn't raise money for movies. You could not do anything. And I was out of the house and had rent to pay. And so I kind of had to start over and went to the bottom of television. And at that time, reality TV was blowing up. So I was like an associate producer on a couple of reality TV shows for channels that don't even exist anymore. And was just kind of languishing, working my way up that way, became a field producer, started working for some of those shows that Magical Elves used to make, like Tap Chef and, Project Runway, that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then I ended up on a reality show called America's Next Producer. You should never watch it.
Everybody's
but
searching
it's an example
now.
of like, this is going on and nothing is a straight line.
Right.
I'm on that show. I end up hating reality TV by being on the show, realizing how kind of manipulated it can be in the sense that they put you in unair-conditioned rooms, or they only give you an hour of sleep. They wanted you to fight. They wanted the drama. Right? So, and I'm not a drama guy. I'm a put fires out guy. As we know, I'm a producer, so that's kind of my job today.
Exactly.
But anyway, so I go through this process, and then I realize, oh man, I need to do something that makes sense, that gives me purpose in life. I'm going to go and do the exact opposite. I'm going to go into journalism. Right? Journalism. Right before where it is today. Okay. And so I say, I'm not going to go to journalism until I get into the best school in the country. Still, the ego is still there. Right? It's a healthy ego. And so long story short, I have this amazing story around how I get into Columbia University, but I get into Columbia University, and it's the #1 school in journalism, and I do really well, and I win this fellowship, a CNN Columbia Fellowship, and I start working for CNN. I do rotate all their shows for like 6 months, and then I end up on Anderson Cooper's show as an associate producer, working there for a bit, and then I have a real epiphany about how journalism is not for me, and the reason why is because it was going all the way left and all the way right. It was extremely opinionated, and it was just not where I saw myself going. And so, the dean of the school came by to check on me because I was doing the fellowship. He's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, he's like, "Do you want to be that guy?" Kind of points to one of the producers. And I'm like, you know what? I really don't.
Right.
So, what am I doing here? So I made a couple of calls to all my connections back in film from back in the day when I was like into it. So this is like a 10-year thing. So 10 years ago, I'm like, oh yeah, I was in film. Why did I want to do that? I wrote screenplay. Oh, what happened? September 11th. Oh yeah. So I call all these people. I finally hit one guy. His name is Michael Helfand. And he's just leaving Marvel. He's president of Marvel. He's a friend of the family. And I said, I really want to continue to make movies. I want to go back to making movies. And he's like, well, you can't do that if you live in New York. You really do have to come out to L.A. And I was always against that.
Right.
I was, at this point, I'm 33 when that happens. And so, to all those people out there who are like, I'm in my 30s and I didn't make it. No, that's not true, right? I still haven't really technically made it, and I'm 42. So it's a process. It's a journey. And so at 33, I make that call, and long story short, decide to move out and become like a creative executive for him in his new company. And then I start working my way up in that company, and now I'm at the place I need to be. I'm doing the things I always loved to do. So you start to thrive very quickly. So I become the head of production and development. I start producing the films with them. And then our first film out the gate for that new company was The Call with Halle Berry. It was a huge, huge hit. And so that kind of launches us. And then from there, we were at this company, Troika Pictures. And then eventually me and Michael Helfand went off and started our own company called Amasia Entertainment, which I am at right now. And I've been here for 9 years. So you get the point that it's not a straight line at all.
No, it's kind of like bobbing and weaving. I compare it to boxing a little bit. You got to find which way you want to go.
Absolutely. I tell you what, the three things really stuck out that you mentioned throughout that whole thing, and I want to talk about them a little bit. One, ego. You say ego, but I really do feel like you have to have a little bit of cockiness or a little bit of confidence. Call it whatever you want, but you've got to kind of have that edge a little bit to make it in this industry because it's built on rejection. So if you're not cocky, if you're not confident, if you're not going into it with a little bit of an ego, it's hard to get through. Like you said, you get knocked down a lot, and I think it's hard to get through that if you don't have a little bit of an edge like that. And the other thing I want to bring up,
I agree.
You said
I was going to jump on that for a second if you want.
Sure.
Pleasant ego is key here, though.
There you go.
Like I was just in an Uber with a guy who's an actor, who has a lot of that energy, had a lot of that ego, didn't know who he was in the car with, right? Is going on about the industry and how it should work and what it is and how this works. And I was thinking to myself, this guy's actually wrong about everything he's saying right now. But he's rolling, and I'm not going to say anything. And it gets to the end of the car ride, and he goes, so what do you do? And I go, well, I'm a film and television producer. And he's like, and I just want to say, most of what you've been saying really isn't true, and let me tell you what is. And so I started going into that a bit and giving him a bit more advice, and hopefully, so it's like, it's how you use that energy and that ego. You absolutely need it. You absolutely need it. And in acting, you need it more than ever. You have to walk into a room, and they're just like ready to say no, and you just have to walk in there like you're more confident than they are, and they're like, why don't we have this guy? We have to have this guy.
Right.
You have to project that. So you're right about it, but you got to be pleasant in the way of doing that, and that's not
Absolutely.
easy.
And that leads me to the next thing when you said you're a good pitcher, because I think the art of the pitch is a long lost, skill that a lot of people need to refine. Because you mentioned the enthusiasm and the excitement, and when you make a pitch, if you can get somebody like you said, the lawyer or something, who's miserable at whatever they're doing, or may have no idea about the film industry or what it's all about, or what, but if you can get them excited about it, they're going to jump on board, and that all comes from your enthusiasm. And I think a lot of people nowadays don't know how important the pitch really is.
It's critical. It's the number one thing possible, right? And I'll give you an example. I did a really cool pilot project about me as sort of like being it's called Project Pitch, and it was people coming in and pitching me, right? And then like my response to them, kind as I can, but like you get to see why they're failing or why it's working or what you need to do and what a good pitch feels like. And when you see that and you study that, you realize that you don't have a lot of time. You got to get your most exciting stuff up front. It's got to be sticky. It's got to be that when you leave the room, they can't stop thinking about it. They go to sleep. They wake up. They're like, "Oh my God, that's really good. How do we? Let me read that. Let me see what the next step is." You can't bombard them with like a bunch of stuff, and then everybody's going to get lost. We're all ADD as it is. We're on our phones every second. Like you got 1 to 3 lines that have to be like, "Wow, that's really intriguing. I kind of want to know what happens next." Send us the script,
Right.
And then it gets read by like 5 people before it gets to that person you just pitched, right? So something has to resonate so that guy's saying, what happened to that project about X, and then, that's kind of how it goes. But pitching it's energy, it's enthusiasm, it's pleasantness, it's I just want to be in the room with, like right now, you guys feel like you just want to keep talking to me all day, right?
Definitely.
That feeling is what I've got good at over time. And me just saying that is ego. Right?
Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing that I want to feel in a room with somebody, that I want to be in that. Remember, I want to spend 3 years on a movie or a television show with somebody. I gotta want to be around that person. So can I work with this person? I can find that out in a pitch. As they're pitching me, I get a sense of their personality, and I can tell you if I want to work with that person. I've seen Q&As I won't name names, but I've been to Q&As with directors after a fantastic film, and they do a Q&A at Sundance, and I'm like, I cannot work with that director just from the Q&A.
Right.
And I will never. And they're super talented. Everybody wants to work with them. Hasn't made a movie since, and I know why.
There you go.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And you're talking about getting in the room. Do you have to necessarily be represented to get in the room, or how do you find your way there? Do you have to find the right contacts?
It's a really good question. There are the companies that are like, it has to be represented by, don't take unsolicited materials, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, when I was young, there was something called the Hollywood Creative Directory, and it listed every single company, their names, the people, their positions, their addresses, and their phone numbers. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And I used to call all like 200 of those before I would take a trip to LA. And and I had no representation. And I would just get on the call like they had to meet me. Like there was no, how do you not even know who I am? You know what I mean? It's like I'd get on that call and be like, "This is Bradley Gallo from Real Life Productions. I'm coming into town. I'm going to be there, between this date and this date. I need to meet with Jimmy Bob, and I have this incredible project. It's a must. And here's what it's about." And I pitch it or whatever, real quick. So what time are you guys available? Oh, Thursday. Great. Thursday. At what time? Like I was that guy.
Yeah.
Right? And I would do that 200 times and get like 5 meetings.
Right.
Sure.
But the 5 meetings were like, now I'm talking to, I literally got, this is just between you guys. Well, I can't say it's just between you. I'm on the
Right.
podcast. But I got into some of the biggest producers. Like it would blow your mind. And the assistants today are like running studios,
Oh my
Exactly.
goodness.
But it's like you don't know who you're going to meet. Or just take
Exactly.
the assistant out. Just take the assistant out. Make the meeting with the assistant. And because that assistant wants to bring a great project into their boss, right?
Absolutely.
So you can't forget about all those things. Getting into the rooms, it doesn't always have to be you're represented. How do I get represented?
Right.
Stop. That's just you making up a block. Like you friend of a friend of a friend knows somebody who can get you into a room, and you just get in there and you kind of hang out, go to a coffee, chat it up, learn what their needs are, bring their needs to them. I don't know how to explain it. It's just constant. it's the problem is you don't want to be in this business unless you can constantly, get up every day and keep doing this until you hit the right thing. That's the problem. A lot of people like get really annoyed and then they just get into this kind of tangent of like, well, I don't know him and he doesn't know him and I'm not represented. Great. That's the attitude.
That's exactly right. I love everything you just said about that entire run. And I think, again, it goes back to the confidence, because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else is going to believe in you. So when you pick up that phone, you've got to be that guy. You've got to be the guy to say, no, you need to meet with me. You don't understand. How have you not met with me already? I absolutely love that philosophy, man.
You also have to know what you're good at and what you're not good at.
Exactly.
Remember, that's critical here. So, like, let me give you that example. I was making that movie. I was the writer, director, producer, and star of it, right? Well, it became very clear that I am not the best writer in the world, that I can act, but I'm not the best actor in the world. I'm not going to be like the top of the game. And, I can direct, but like, I understand it. That's not mean I'm visionary, like, freaking Christopher Nolan, Denny Vanilla, like that's not going to be me. So I don't want to be a journeyman. I want to be great at what it is that I can do.
Right.
What it turned out was producing what everything that I was doing was producing. I was putting this project together out of nothing, from an idea to a script to a getting a crew together, getting the financing together, and putting the whole project together is what the producer does. I get to touch every single part of the process.
Yep.
Well, if you get to do that to me was the home run, right? That's what I liked. So then when I get on the phone, I'm confident because I know I can do that. But if I got on the phone and I was trying to pitch somebody about me as a director, I would be clearly not confident, and they would pick up on that energy, and I would get rejected off the bat. That I can pick up in seconds. Just people walking in the room, I know whether they're confident enough at what they're actually about to pitch me. Like I got good at that and understanding that. And you have to get good at being realistic with yourself of who you are and what you're good at. And that's what you're supposed to be pushing. Not, if you're both partners in a production company, and one guy's the finance guy and because he's really good at it, and one guy's the creative guy, then you should divvy that. Don't be the creative guy that thinks he's the finance guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, know what you're good at.
Right.
And push that, and be honest with each other is another thing.
Definitely. And I mean,
not easy. Everybody's feelings get hurt. Fuck the feelings. This is not a feelings business.
Exactly. This is a business. And even like with ourselves, we have 3 people all together in the company. And, sometimes like lines are kind of have to get intertwined and things like that. So you're saying basically try to stick to your lane as much as possible, but also learn a little bit about the other lanes, because you also want to help a little bit in the other ways you can.
No, of course. Michael, who's my business partner, is very, very smart, MBA lawyer, the whole 9 yards. If it's a contract, he's in the lead.
Right, definitely.
If it's a financing plan, he's in the lead. But I'm sitting right next to him. I'm learning everything. I'm going through with him. I'm making my input. I'm giving him another viewpoint, of course. But am I in the lead? Am I taking those calls when we're doing those calls? Am I the guy who's like talking from 20 years of experience in it? No. But if we're on the call with the director to talk about the creative vision of the movie, that's a different story. Now I'm in the lead, and he's there, and he's giving his input, but he understands, that I'm going to be the guy who's sitting on set in production, talking with and being with and scouting and talking to the production designers and all that. So that's my lane. That's where I excel, and I try to make that better and better and better. And I want to get better at the things I'm not as good at, but you just have to be very cool about, adjusting your ego to not feeling bad if you're not involved in something,
Right. I mean, that's the whole point of teamwork. That you're supposed you do what you do, let the other people do what they do, and you accommodate that. What you fill in the blanks, and I think that's what makes teams work. I love that, man. I just think your entire philosophy about how you approach things is spot on, man. It's no wonder now talking to you why you've been so successful and have had the success that you've had. And you know what I like is that you're still grounded. I mean, you literally said at the top of the thing, and I haven't made it yet. And I'm like, even with all the success you've had, you're like, no, I still haven't made it yet. And I love that, because
but I think I might take that. I might take that to the grave. That's one of those weird things where you're always trying to better yourself and improve yourself. And,
absolutely. Because
people
when
think they step on that Oscar stage, they won an Oscar, and then they're like, oh, I've made it. Nope, I would still not feel that way.
Exactly, because when you reach that plateau, when you think you've made it, that's it. You're done.
Yeah, that's when it's over.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to ever be done.
Yeah. Well, you know what I love about it? I don't feel that I'm that good. And what I like about that is that I can keep striving to be better.
Yes.
I don't know what it's like to be a Spielberg who, clearly was one of the best and top of the game at the time that he was.
Right.
And so now maybe his movies are, to him, it's still learning. He's still thinking, like, maybe he doesn't think he's that great, right? So that's why you stay, and that's why you keep making movies. It needs to be that bug, where you don't think you're that great. Honestly,
dude.
But you can't get caught up in the scenario where everybody else is telling you are great. That's another problem, and that usually happens more in the actor world, and sometimes the directors and the writers too. But like when everybody's saying you're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing, then sometimes your ego goes the wrong way too.
Yep.
So and then you think you're just so great, it doesn't matter what you touch. And that could hurt you in your creative process, your direction, and your ability to improve, in my opinion. I think that happens when people surround themselves the way they do with, a team that's sort of yesing them.
Definitely. You do not need yes men around you, because you always need to take that creative criticism and just keep moving forward. Try to make the best possible product that you can put out to the people that can start a conversation,
Yeah, agreed.
And I mean, coming from a guy who produces basically everything, film, television, what is more fulfilling for you? I mean, the 9 months or 8 months on a film set, or the season-long episodics?
I would say to you that I am completely miserable right now because I'm not on a set.
There you go.
And that I am the guy who really enjoys the community of filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a little bit happy if we're in a room and we're talking about development, we're all together and we're going through it. But if I'm not in the community of us putting together a film, I'm usually not happy. And everybody knows that about me here. And I would love to just be like 2 months in, New Orleans making Mr. Right, and then jumping right into 2 months in North Carolina making Careful What You Wish For, and
Right.
then, going on to 9 months of a television production. Like, I want to be in production all the time, and I would like to die in production.
Absolutely.
So that's my passion. And it's because I like bringing all these people together who are incredible artists that are way better than me at what they do, and putting them together to make the best vision of that particular project. I'm going to probably move more towards social impact because I want it to have an effect, more than just make money. But, a lot of these movies, you have to make money to keep the lights on. And then, from there, if you're making a production about something that matters, like those are usually lower budget, and they usually require a lot of painstaking passion. And if you're doing that, you're not going to make a lot of money. So I might not care about. I never really did care about making money, which otherwise is another issue that people have when they want to be famous and make a lot of money. That's dangerous in this business because it doesn't really happen.
Right.
It really doesn't. Yes, there are like the 10% that make a fortune, but most of us don't. We're making a nice salary, or we're making enough movies to have some producer fees that sort of get us by. But I don't even own a house, and you would think that I'm super successful. It's just not the way it is. So you have to love it. You really do.
Absolutely. You said the key word, passion. You have to have a passion for it, man. I want to talk to you too, as a producer, a little bit about the whole impact of streamers and the kind of transition now between, just theatrical and films made for the streamers. And as a producer, what's that been like for you in your career, and what are your thoughts on it? Because like you said, sometimes you want to make impactful films that might not necessarily make money, and maybe that right outlet for that is a streamer, or or not. So what are your thoughts on the whole? Because, I'm sure the whole Scorsese thing and Marvel movies and all this kind of stuff. Should it be in a theater? Should it not be in a theater? Blah, blah, blah. Give us your thoughts.
Well, I love the streamers to death because, it's single-handedly kept this industry alive. That's number one. Number two, I'm frustrated because I haven't made a movie with a streamer yet, which I'm dying to do, but so is everybody, right? It's like the gold rush. Everybody wants to be making movies with the streamers. You never really know what they want. They're using, obviously some of them are using algorithms. Some of them have different leadership that have different philosophies on how they're going to do it. So Apple might want to do one thing, and Amazon wants to do another, Netflix wants to do another.
Right.
And by the time you turn around and get them the projects they were asking for, they've changed their philosophy. Maybe that's even being done on purpose. I have no idea. But I just want to be making the content. So anybody who wants to see it how goes, I'm good. But I know what you're asking, and I always keep saying when people ask me that question that the future of the business is going to be that the theatrical movies are going to be event theatrical, the way you think of a Broadway show. You go to a Broadway show, it's a major event, it's Hamilton, and you pay $250 for that ticket. I'm not saying you're going to pay that for a movie, but if it's a huge event and it's, Marvel-y or it's something dramatic, massive war, Spielberg film, I'm making that up, you're going to pay, $40-$50
Right.
to go to it. And that's how they're going to be able to sustain it if they do that. Otherwise, they have to do variable pricing, where you say my little independent film is only $6 and the big Marvel movie is $40, and
Right.
they've resisted that for 100 million years. But that's another model that could work, because they've done the surveys on it, and it's something that would work. But I don't know, there's politics involved, right? But on the streamer side, the problem with the streamers is that you make a movie, it's really good, and nobody sees it because it's not on the front page. They have to search for it, right? Or they have to hear about it. So when Mr. Right, which I made with Sam Rockwell and Anna Kendrick, finally hit Netflix, Netflix did like this huge promotion. It was like on the front page, so everybody knew about it. It was number 6 on the week or the day or whatever it is, and that's because they were putting it right up front when you sign in.
Right.
So it becomes like this battle for how does anyone find it, unless it's going to be one of their top 3 shows that year, or they're, Apple's doing one big movie event a month, so it's like that's going to be promoted. That makes sense to me. That's awesome, right? So I mean, I don't know if I'm answering your question. I'm just giving you insight as it moves so quickly and things are constantly
Absolutely.
changing. The streamers are a good thing because there's such a massive need for content. But I always worry about like what happens if the stocks drop so dramatically, and because that's how the streamers are buoyed by all this money, right? And they can't take as much content, or they don't need as much content, or millennials just decide, I'm done with these subscriptions and I'm going to read books. I'm making that up. There's always a chance that there's a reason to cancel, right? There's, everybody's worried that Disney's going to come along. You get Disney plus Hulu plus, ESPN, and you're like, man, that they're going to keep raising that price. So if it's $12.99 now, when it's $24.99, do I then have to drop Netflix? And Netflix has to keep making amazing content so that people don't drop them. The whole fear for streamers is people dropping them.
Right.
Like I am currently a customer of Apple because I did the 7-day trial, and then it's still hitting me at $9.99 a month. I liked, The Morning Show, and I liked Servant. But if the next 2 shows come on that I don't like, do I stay with it? Do I keep it? Can I handle all these $9.99s? And now it's like $300 a month. People are going to start. Middle class Americans are going to have to figure this out.
Yep.
So it's a big gold rush right now. Nobody knows where it's going to go. But anytime there's a need for content, we as producers are happy.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And something that is also just right along the trail of that gold rush is social media. What do you think about that? I mean, I feel like we've had some guests on the show.
Remember, I'm 42. Did you guys hear the part where I said I was 42?
I heard that. Heard
Yeah.
it. We've actually had some guests come on the show and say when they go into an audition, they get asked about their social media numbers. Do you think you would ever do that in a casting call or a casting audition? Or, like, is it that important to you?
It's a great question. And I would have to say that social media is important, but it is not the end-all, be-all. Like, I'm not casting someone because they have 5 million followers,
Right.
but I like that they have 5 million
like
followers.
that.
But I know that it doesn't work. Like, I can't have, like, a movie where, the actor is got 20 million followers and he promotes the movie on that day or that night or throughout the week. It doesn't really move the needle that much. And so we all know that now, but it doesn't hurt. So it's sort of a middle ground.
Gotcha.
There was a time where they were trying to make movies with all influencers, and they were just putting all these influencers, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Right? There's times where an actor might only want to do, like, they know their importance of their 20 million followers, so they're like, I'm just going to agree in my contract to do one before the premiere, the day of the premiere, and the day after. You know what I mean? Like, they can control it. So if they're not pounding it for weeks on end, it's not going to be the equivalent of me putting weeks on end of posters and massive, billboards and commercials. That's still going to kill. What really works now is really small, interesting viral ideas. Like if there's a viral marketing campaign, like Legendary did something that was really interesting when they were doing Pokemon Pikachu, I think it was called. They had like this thing where Ryan Reynolds Twitter was hacked or something, and they got a copy of the movie, and so everybody thought the movie was like leaked illegally online, and so then they went to that video, they clicked on it, and it was like the first scene of the movie, and then it was just the Pokemon for 2.5 hours dancing,
Oh, damn.
right? And so, but it was massive. It worked. It was a great idea. Like those types of things will be very helpful in the social media land. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. There'll be different versions of it. TikTok this and TikTok
Right.
that, right? But I don't make a decision on casting because of it. It's just a nice added bonus. But the same added bonus this day and age could be a diverse actor. You know what I mean? Because that's where a lot of the industry is focused, and I get it. But there's all kinds of qualities of thoughts and then acting talent, and then like fitting the role and what the director thinks. All these things go into one big, like, does it work? And what they're worth is another huge thing. Like sometimes, is this going to work for foreign? Is this foreign sales? Am I going to get value out of having these three actors in the movie? It matters for the budget of the movie.
Definitely. And how important is IMDb for you guys?
We would definitely use it. I mean, I'm an IMDb Pro subscriber, right?
Yeah.
So if anybody asks me a question, I'm like, on IMDb, check out who the agent is, who this person is. Do I care? You mean the IMDb meter?
Right.
Again,
the star meter. Yeah.
Yeah, but if somebody dies and they're number one on the meter.
That's true.
So
that's
true. What does that mean?
Yeah.
So no, I mean, we look at it, but we don't really judge on it. It is nice when you're like, when Rebecca Ferguson got cast in like Bond, and you were like, she's number one. Who the heck is Rebecca Ferguson?
Right.
I think it's more helpful to the actor of like who the heck is than it is about like, oh, they're number one on IMDb. Let me cast them in this movie. I really don't think that matters. Although I do get really annoyed when mine goes from like 40,000 to 90,000.
Right.
Right. Same here.
Well, and it's kind of replaced the book you were talking about earlier, where you could just go through and get 200 numbers for everybody to call. If you have IMDb Pro, it's like that's where you go now. You can get publicists, agents, right? So good to have, right? Good tool to have.
Oh, it's a great tool. I'm for the tool. I just don't. If it was about the media queue of like the movie meters and stuff, that doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
Nobody cares.
What would you say is the most difficult aspect of producing in today's landscape?
Financing. Everybody will tell you it's financing. Like if you're doing it from an independent scenario and you got to raise your money, that's the hardest part of the process. The second hardest part of the process is getting cast to actually commit and attach to your project. But like if you have the financing and and it's a really great script, I'm just assuming that if you're a good producer, you have a really great script, right? I'm assuming if you're a really good producer, you're going to get a good director. So like the two things that a really great producer versus another really great producer, the problem would be is like who can get the financing and who can get the cast. And if you have significant relationships, is where age is better than youth sometimes, is because they have significant relationships with cast and they can make a phone call to The Rock and be like, what do you think of this? We should do this together. That's a different game, right, than having to go to the agents and waiting for them and their 12 other offers for The Rock. Which is Dwayne Johnson, by the way.
Yeah.
That guy.
For anybody over 40, right? Like it's okay.
Yeah. But I guess I age myself in my conversations. But the point I'm making is like casting is really, really important, and financing. Those are the two that I struggle with the most. If I had to go from my perspective, how do I get a cast member? So they read the script, they love it, they want to do it, right? And they're in the next this, and when's the time frame, and how do I lock them down? And then I wait 8 months for that cast member, and then she goes and does another film, and because Spielberg called, right? These are the complicated parts of producing. Like whatever goes wrong in the actual making of the movie, I just know my skill set. I'll get around it. I'll fix it. I'll figure it out. The things that I can't guarantee are financing and casting.
Good. So how important then is networking? Talk about networking for a little bit, because I just like you just said, it's so much easier if you can just pick up the phone and call Dwayne, say, hey, come on, man, get in the as opposed to having to go through the route. So how important do you think networking is for people?
It's super important, but everybody knows that. What I think the skill is the networking after making the movie. And what I mean by that is the relationships you make on the films with significant talent like production designers, costume designers, etc. And the cast. You know, if you're jiving with someone, I mean, look, you're not going to jive with every cast member, and they're not going to jive with you.
Right.
And so, but every movie, there's like one or two cast members that I get really friendly with and close with because we're in the trenches together and we really like each other, and it's a wonderful experience. Like a perfect example is Louis Pullman, Bill Pullman's son. Love him to death. You know, he wants my wife is having a baby, and he's like, oh, I want to be uncle. You know, but that's because we bonded, right? Doesn't mean I bond with everybody. I really liked me and Riza got really close on Mr. Right. Like that's that. You know, there's a costume designer that I think is fantastic. I want in every film. There's a DP that I love to death. There's directors that I'm going on vacation with one of my directors. You know, like that is because it's organically we're really good friends.
Right.
But it's not going to happen to every single person. But if you treat people right, you do things right, they want to work with you again. You know, I got another movie with the writer of The Call. I got another movie. Like, that's what you have to do. It's more important after than it, you know, obviously it's very important all the time.
Right.
But I would say, like, networking is the skill that it took a long time for me to understand. And my biggest regret was not moving to LA sooner, because I moved at 33, and anybody who was here from 20 to 33 had already came up as assistants and friends, and they're all working in companies and they know everybody, or they were born and raised here and then in the business and they went to high school with them. Like, there's a lot of that interconnectedness that I did not build until I've done now for the past 10 years, and I'm still behind the eight ball. Mm-hmm. So networking is critical. When you think of it that way.
Definitely. I do like the whole maintaining the relationship afterwards, though. Great advice.
Seriously. And I mean,
yes.
You're talking about how LA is basically the entertainment mecca of the world, which it is, but what do you think about like Atlanta and Vancouver? Are they starting to make some headway?
No, they're great. You know, the Hollywood of the South used to be Louisiana for New Orleans,
right.
And now it's really obviously Georgia. I would say that I make that ploy to directors and writers, actors and writers all the time. I'm going to give you another great example. The security guard in this movie, Careful What You Wish For, he was fantastic. He was a local North Carolinian actor, and we needed to do that because we were looking for actors that were local to help us with the tax credit. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, you know, we have to employ as much talent, whether it's behind the camera or the actors themselves, as local actors, because it matters for the tax credit. Well, he's really good. He plays the security guard, and then a television show comes to town in North Carolina called The Ozarks. You know it, very good show on Netflix.
Jason Bateman, yep.
I love the show to death, and now he's the real estate agent on every single episode that, you know, they use his character.
That's awesome.
For that show. And so I do tell actors, like, you can be one of 90,000 actors in New York or 180,000 actors in LA that are really good, or you can go to Georgia and be like one of 100. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So it's like, if you're a local in Georgia and Atlanta, and I'm, you know, making the numbers up, but like you're much more available and sort of known by all the casting directors in the local casting of Georgia. And so when a movie comes to town or a television show comes to town, they're going to want to bring in the people who are actually good.
Definitely.
And so they're going to always bring you in, and you don't have to deal with 90,000 good people.
Yep.
So, like, I definitely suggest that. And if there's a big, you know, writing local tax credit thing, then by being in Georgia, then they go to the writers that are in Georgia. You know what I mean? Like, that's huge in terms of other places. Vancouver is also massive, you know, and of course Canada has huge tax credits. So if you're a Canadian director or writer, you know, you definitely want to stay in Canada and work in either Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal. Ottawa is a big place now. That's very good and a great way to distinguish yourself outside of the LA thing. I'm talking from a producer standpoint.
Right.
From a producer standpoint, you need to be in LA because all the decisions to make those shows in Vancouver are made here, right? So as a producer, I got to be pitching all around town all the time, and I have to be in front of people to do that. It's a much different as a creative.
Oh, absolutely. It's again solid advice for anybody trying to get in. Because we had a guest a couple of weeks ago, an actor who's been around for quite a time, and he said almost the exact same thing. You are more than capable of being a star where you are, was the way he termed it. But I can
Yeah.
totally see the difference in the producer standpoint of that, because as we talked about earlier in the show, you got to get in the room, and unfortunately, the room is in L.A. That's where all the decisions are made. So
They are. They are made. Nobody's going to spend $100 million on a TV show and make that decision from Timbuktu, Oklahoma.
right.
It's definitely made here to go to Oklahoma because the state provides a tremendous amount of great services, and at the same time has a great tax credit or whatever it is. I'm again making that up.
No, tax credits are extremely important nowadays. Let's be honest about it. I mean, a lot of decisions are made because of that, right?
I made 2 movies in LA. 2. I made The Call because we got the tax credit, and The Road Within with Zoe Kravitz because it was such a low budget that we knew we would get the stars to be in the film because they were going home to their own bed,
Mm-hmm.
And so that we made both of those work in LA. Everything else, Ohio, New Orleans, North Carolina, wherever
Absolutely.
the tax credit is,
Absolutely.
Canada, Florida, you get the idea.
Well, first of all, The Road Within, I'm so glad you brought it up. My daughter introduced me to that film, and I fucking loved it. It's really what got me hooked on Zoe Kravitz, honestly. I had not really seen her before.
She was great in that film.
And the whole film was just phenomenal. She's like, you got to watch this, you got to watch this. So, well done, sir.
Thank you. I mean, you should go see. I mean, that's a very heartwarming movie. That was I read that's actually a German film that we remade for America. The German film's amazing. The writer is an amazing writer, Gren Wells, and she did a great job adapting it. And I was so proud of making a movie like that. That's a perfect example of a movie that means something to people, that
Right.
has heart, that can connect on so many levels with people who have OCD, people who have anorexia, people who have Tourette's. And so I think we did our job right, and we, of course it didn't make a lot of money. And what I didn't, again, a learning experience, he uses the C word like 80 times in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And that immediately eliminates all of the television deals.
Right.
And we didn't think that way. You can't change it. It was just a really hard financial movie for us because we were limited in where we can show that movie.
Yeah.
But it's fantastically done for a budget so low. We just recently did a new movie it's now on Showtime. It's called Them That Follow. And that has 7 awesome cast members, including Olivia Colman, who eventually won the Oscar after our movie.
Right. The queen, the current queen.
Yes. It's her first American movie, her first SAG movie. And we're really proud of that movie, and had, first-time filmmakers, Britt Polton and Dan Savage. They wrote the screenplay together, gave them their first shot, made the movie for $1.3 million. Got Jim Gaffigan and Caitlin Dever, who couldn't be any bigger right now.
Oh, what? She's phenomenal, yeah.
She's in it, and Lewis Pullman, who I was telling you about before, and Thomas Mann, and Alice Englert is the star, and she's Jane Campion's daughter, but she's also a fantastic actress who crushed it on a lot of television shows like Top of the Lake and now Nurse Ratched that's coming out. I just love her to death, and she star is born watching Them That Follow with her.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Seriously. I don't want to forget Walton Goggins was amazing too, and he's the preacher. He's I mean, talk about having a moment. This man is one of the best actors that should win an Oscar already.
Oh,
agreed.
Agreed.
Amazing.
I'm excited to talk about the Green Hornet. Congratulations on getting the rights to that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really, really impressive moment for us, and super needed right now because this is a franchise property that's outside of the studio system.
Agreed.
Marvel, DC, and all these guys, have everything, and so when you can get one. It's very special. So we have a very awesome relationship with the family, and they have been so kind and so understanding about how we're going to do right by them and the property. And I think that's why we were able to get it. And so, It's awesome. So
So
anyway, lots going on.
yeah, man, and that's where we were leading. So what you have coming up, what you got going on. So talk about it a little bit though. What we like to do is, and you've done this throughout the whole interview, but just to kind of narrow it down a little bit, because what pitfalls would you say for people trying to get into the industry, especially on the producing side, would you say to avoid or look out for? And then what on the flip side of that, what advice would you give for people other than just coming to LA? What would be the key piece of advice that you would give along with the pitfalls?
As a producer, or just in general, coming and
Well,
being in the
I tell you,
industry?
as a producer, because I think you've talked really heavily about the producing aspect, and I think it's been a really
Right.
interesting conversation, and I think
Definitely.
people definitely want to know about that.
Yeah, the pitfalls. It's a very hard question to answer, so I only can just sort of tell you what I sort of run up against a lot.
Sure.
I think the biggest pitfall you can have is not recognizing when the town doesn't want your film, or the town doesn't want your show, or it's not the right timing. Like, if you love it that much, put it on the shelf till the next season and start working on something that the town needs or wants. Because you can get a lot of these projects, like I've had projects for 10 years that are on my board, that are just never this, sometimes just hard to give up. It's something we really believe in and we know it would work, but the town doesn't want it right now. So it's like, keep it on the board. You never know what's going to come through, but get working on stuff that's going to work. Get making the stuff. Don't get caught up in like, this is the one that's going to make it and I know it, I'm just going to fight till the death on this one project. Make multiple projects. The other pitfall people have is they make one, it works, it becomes great, and they don't have anything after that. They don't have another screenplay to go. They don't have another 5 different possibilities that they can get going and ride the wave of that momentum. When we made The Call, we immediately made Careful What You Wish For and The Road Within. Like, ride the momentum, because it's going to come maybe once, and you're going to be like, oh, I don't know. I really wanted to do this one next or that one next. Like, what? Just go. Go, 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 go. It's okay if you have 3 or 4 that don't work. Like, just keep making them. Nobody's got a perfect, flawless career. That's just not possible. But sitting there paralyzed is the biggest pitfall, I think. And then on the positive end, what's the what's the advice? I would say the advice is, I think the industry needs so much content that you're not going to be out of a job, but the advice is, find a niche and crush that niche first, and then do the other things that you might have wanted to do. What I mean by that is, like, look what happened to Blumhouse, right? It's like, find that niche. Are you going to be the home run horror director or writer or producer? Are you the home run Sundance type of producer? What is your niche that you can that everybody can kind of put you in? I know that people always say avoid it. I say don't, because if you get really successful at it, like Blumhouse did, then he gets to make Whiplash,
Right.
which has nothing to do with horror film, right? Because he has power in the industry to do that. But if you do like a bunch of things, like kind of that's what we've done. We've done a bunch of different things. I don't think that was very helpful. I think that stalled us a bit sometimes. I would have liked to have just, ran with it and became, let's say, the thriller company, because we made The Call, and just make thriller, and then everybody comes to us for thrillers, right? And then expand out. We were just doing what we loved each and every time. And if you're trying to break in, I say crush a niche. And I only say that now more than ever is because that's kind of how the streamers are going, right?
Absolutely.
They have these buckets. They have all these buckets. So wouldn't you want to be the guy that they do 10 of those buckets with? And they're just like, we'll do a 10-picture deal with you, and you just keep giving us, every single romantic comedy like Adam Sandler. I'm making that up, but like, he's got his niche, right? It's working. And he gets to work on any platform. And when Sony was done with his deal, now he has a deal with Netflix. Like, what's the one you can crush, and then later you can do, like in his case, Uncut Gems, right?
Mm-hmm. Such a great film, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
My favorite film of the year. Was so happy to be at Indie Spirit Awards to see him win, and to actually see the movie, the Safdie brothers, win theirs. And their speeches were incredible. If you haven't seen Adam Sandler's speech and the Safdie brothers' speech, you need to see that after this call.
Definitely. I'm going to look it up. Seriously. But anyway, man, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to just come on the show and get a little crazy with us, talk about your whole career, because honestly, we've learned so much just from this conversation, and we're going to take it with us wherever we go for our production company. So we really appreciate you, man.
Yeah, and if you have any questions after this, or if there's, Q&As, you want me to do a Q&A little blog for your podcast webpage, I'll do it. I love the Q&As the most. Like, my favorite thing in the world is to be up in front of a crowd and then just raising their hand and asking questions. I just love answering off the cuff. So I'm always available if there's something that comes up and makes sense for you guys.
Dude, definitely. We will definitely reach back out for that. We were just talking about implementing some Q&As with the guests, so that'll be fantastic,
there you go.
man.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
And
talk to you guys soon.
Yeah,
be well.
Definitely. You as well. Don't get that corona, man.
No. I'm gonna. I actually kind of wanted to get it so that I can get the antibodies without having to take the vaccine. That's my goal.
Hey, man.
Be the cure.
Exactly. And congratulations again, man, on the upcoming baby and just everything going on for you, man.
Thank you. Talk to you guys soon.
All right,
Thank you. You as well. Bye.
Bye.
Dude, that was so freaking amazing.
Oh my gosh, dude! I love this guy and everything about
Right?
him. He is like the epitome of what I'm always trying to talk about. With like, you have got to be cocky but humble. There's a
Exactly,
fine
at the
line
same
between
time.
that, right? Like, and I liked how he said it. What did he say with the ego? It has to be a nice ego.
Yeah, exactly.
A generous ego. I think that's the balance, man.
Exactly.
The difference between cocky and humble is that generous ego.
Agreed.
And I mean, dude, he's just so real. And the one thing to take away from this interview, I think the most important thing that he said throughout is you're never there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Don't ever think you've made it. Don't ever think you've reached the top. I mean, he's talking about even if he's on a stage winning an Oscar, that's not it.
No, it's not it.
I think that's the most important thing. Anybody trying to get into this industry, anybody who's in this industry, that's the thing to remember.
Agreed. Oh my goodness. Thank you again, Bradley Gallo, for coming on the show. All right, now it is time for our top 5 segment, and it's only right that this be our top 5 this week because shit's hitting the fan.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's time to stay inside. It's time to quarantine, and this is top 5 things to do while during quarantine.
I mean, that's a good one.
Hey.
First, put on gloves.
Exactly. Boom.
2, don't touch your face.
Don't do it.
No, we're kidding. We've got 5 real things. It's okay.
But number 5 for me, this is prime time for it. Streaming services. That means films, television, short films. This is a prime time to check out anything on your streaming services that you have. And, I mean, try out other streaming services as well. I mean, I've really been wanting to try out Apple TV Plus.
Yep.
So, I mean, the morning show and shit like that, I heard it was really good, and now it's the time to try it because
It's true.
You need to be inside as much as possible.
Yeah, and Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington's new one is on Hulu, so
Yeah.
you got some new. I'm personally, and don't be mad at me, but I'm just now watching Lucifer.
Yeah.
That's right, I said that.
Yeah.
Just now watching,
It's
but
okay.
I'm loving it. And why not? Because now's the time to do it.
Exactly.
That's a good one, number 5, man. Number 5 for me, exercise.
Definitely.
Get back on a regular. Say you've already blown the New Year's resolution, right? Now you can start over.
Yeah.
Get on your exercise kit. I've been going out every day, hardcore, hitting the trail, doing really catching up on my exercise and trying, because healthy mind, man, you have to have a healthy body. So,
true.
And you guys, you can do it inside too. You don't have to go out on a trail or an isolated trail. Like maybe you don't have an isolated trail like I do. Do the exercise. There's all kinds of YouTube videos or shit. A lot of people are following. I got a lot of Facebook friends who are posting exercise videos and they're doing exercise. So you can find a way. Exercise.
Definitely. And we're all creatives here at Crazy Ant Media.
right.
I mean, we got multiple projects we're working on. So Write is definitely one of mine, number 4 on top 5 things to do during quarantine. Write, we got the 3 projects we need to start working on, and I also like to write some poetry. So, I mean, maybe write a little bit of that as well. Maybe a little dark shit about quarantine. I don't know.
I mean,
but I'm into Edgar Allan Poe. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
I was just about to say that. Little Edgar Allan Poe shit. That'd be great.
Exactly. But yeah, man, Write. I mean, all that good shit.
Yeah, and another one that I'm having a blast with, just picked up a new book. You heard me reference Bob Iger's book. If you listen to the 100th episode, you know we all read. We all like a bunch of shit. Read.
Yes.
Get you a new book. Catch up on an old book that you put down and didn't finish. You know, read a book. Like we talked about in the show, Josh Gad is reading some children's books, having a lot of fun with it or whatever. That's a great time to do that. I'm reading Call Me Ted, Turner's autobiography.
Yeah.
Whew. Intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great book. If you guys have, you know, I'm into biographies, so, but good shit, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, read. Number 4 for me.
Number 3 for me is read. I mean, I'm getting into the biography game. I mean, you got me kicked on that. So I'm looking for somebody else. Maybe I'll pick up Bob Iger's book, borrow it from you a little bit.
Yo, my gosh, dude, you'll love it.
Or maybe I really like some novels as well, and some self-help books as well, mental health. I mean, you can never be too mentally healthy. I mean, and it's always a good thing to carry on in life so you can help other people through shit as well.
It's true. Absolutely. And we're just flip-flopping here. My number 3 is right.
Exactly.
As you mentioned, you've been working on the projects. I've been doing some writing on the projects and everything, and we've been working on revisions to the scripts and stuff, just jotting down notes. And you know what also goes into write really well? A journal, guys.
Yeah.
Start a journal if you haven't started a journal. Start doing a daily journal of what you've been doing during the quarantine or how the quarantine is affecting you or, you know, what kind of an impact it's going on in your life. You know, jot this shit down. It's history making for sure.
Definitely.
So start a little journal. You know,
Exactly.
It's a good way to write.
Exactly. And I mean, our number 2s are kind of the same as well because I love me some Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop.
There you go.
Number 2 for me is create new designs, whether that be for the company or for myself. I just did a design of myself with a camera that looks pretty badass, might I say.
See, there you go.
So, I mean, create new designs on my computer apps.
Yeah, and my number 2 is along those lines, but sketching. Way back in the day as a youngin', I used to draw a lot, you know, and sketch a lot. And so this quarantine has given me the perfect opportunity to re-pick up the pencil. I went out, got a sketch pad and everything. And I've been drawing for the last few days, man. If you saw, you know, I dropped The Dark Knight. And today it was Garfield and Snoopy and Woodstock. And you never know what's going on. I did Dynamite. I even did Jason Ritter. What the fuck?
Right.
So, I mean, but I'm having a good time with it. So that's something you can do. Express your creative side.
Exactly.
You know? Get artistic, man.
Exactly, and especially try new shit. I feel like this is a prime time to do it. You have time.
Exactly.
So why not just try new stuff? Research stuff on the internet. Think of things that you might be good at and try it out. I mean, you only get one life, and it might be the end. I don't know. But number 1 for me is record this podcast because this is honestly one of the highlights of my week. I love doing this thing with you, man. It's been freaking phenomenal all 2 years now on to year 3. And
Absolutely.
I mean, it's honestly so fun each week to talk about the entertainment industry and how it just keeps evolving, especially during pandemics and epidemics like this.
Yeah.
And I mean, how it always changes. And I mean, that's what we want to do. We're in the entertainment industry and we strive for greatness. So this helps us keep up with the entertainment industry.
Absolutely. I enjoy it too. It's definitely the highlight of my week. And, you know, we've learned so much from each other over the 2 years and we have fun doing it.
Exactly.
Guys, we are blessed and we know we are fortunate enough to be doing what we do, that we can do it from home. We can do it from the home office. We can write. We can do the artwork. We can do this podcast and be able to be quarantined, if you will, or whatever, you know. So do that. You ever wanted to start up a podcast? You ever wanted to, you know, put your opinion out there? Do a YouTube video.
Exactly.
You know, there's always ways to express yourself, and there's always something to do.
Exactly. Anchor's free. Podcast. If you want to start a podcast, Anchor is free.
Hell
so
yeah. We'll help you out. Reach out. We'll get you started, man. It'll be good.
Exactly.
Don't compete with us.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Do whatever you want.
Exactly.
My number 1 was because as much as the fun side of the business, like I said at the top of the show, it's also a business. So I use the week to catch up on all the corporate shit.
Yeah.
Get all the corporate paperwork done, get all the taxes filed, get all the shit good to go so that, you know, because we got the annual meetings coming up and the shareholders meetings and all that. What the fuck? We have shareholders? What? Yeah, it's so crazy. But I did that. Because there's always something that you're behind on.
Agreed.
So this is a great time to get caught up on whatever you're behind on.
Agreed.
There you go. Maybe it's not corporate paperwork. Maybe it's, I don't know, clean the kitchen.
Yeah.
Move the couch finally and vacuum underneath it. I don't know. Just something. Like,
exactly.
You know.
Exactly. Oh, my goodness. But it's been a great top 5, man. It's been great doing this for, I mean, a year and a half. I think we've been doing the top 5 for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Always doing that. So I'm glad we found that because it lets the people know about our personalities.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And just drop a little piece of trivia because, we both read. And so just a little trivia today. I saw yesterday, this week, so we'll just say this week, but yesterday, but this week, the very first televised Oscars happened.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
On this
right?
day in history.
Crazy, yeah. So I just thought that was interesting because so much talk of the Oscars lately and everything, everybody staying inside or whatever.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Maybe you kick back and watch all the Best Picture winners.
Yeah, that'd be really
That'd
cool.
be
There's an
badass.
idea.
Yeah, the Academy should release that like on their website
That'd
or
be
something.
cool.
Like go on and watch all the Best Picture
Yeah.
nominees or or
Yeah.
winners. That'd be epic.
I think Parasite was trying to warn us.
Maybe.
Like, I'm just saying, with all this shit, and I've been thinking a lot about it, I think Parasite was trying to warn us.
I mean, and people are like obsessed with it right now because on Netflix, you know how you can see the top 10 things now or whatever. Pandemic and Outbreak are like the
Oh, I
top
bet.
in the top 10.
I bet.
People are watching that shit. So,
Yeah.
like because they're trying to figure out what did Dustin Hoffman do with the chimp?
Yeah,
like what the
exactly.
fuck? What do we do? But where did Dustin Hoffman use toilet paper? Like what the fuck? Like it's crazy,
funny.
man.
But now it is time for the box office recap. Man, it really affected the box office last week, and of course, with the following weeks here to come. I mean, so all we have is the box office recap. We don't have new movies coming out, or movies you can still go see. We don't have any of that.
No,
But
because you can't.
you can't. Like, you got streaming services. That's all you got.
That's
But
it.
Number one was Onward, which is apparently really good. I hope Disney releases that sooner than expected as well.
Yeah, on the streamer, yeah, because that'd be
Exactly. I predicted it to get 25 to 30 million, and it got 10.6.
Which was the only movie to break the double digits,
Yeah.
like we said at the top of the show. So
Exactly.
while that was well under estimates, it was well above everybody else.
Exactly. Bloodshot came in at number 2, that Vin Diesel flick. I predicted that one to be number 3, so I got that one wrong.
So you
But
can still see that one. I did see the word Bloodshot will be online soon. They are going to put that one online.
I see. That one pulled in around 9.2 million. I predicted 10 to 15. I Still Believe also came in at 9.1 million, so just barely off. Those are the two I got flip-flopped.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I predicted 10 to 15. Invisible Man came in at number 4 with around 6 million and 5.9 million. And then number 5 was The Hunt with around 5.3 million.
Interesting.
I know.
I hope they put I Still Believe somewhere. It's Little Cam's film debut.
Yeah. Right?
Her acting debut. She's not acting, but she is in it.
Yeah.
So I hope they put that somewhere.
Uncredited.
Uncredited. That's
Yeah.
right.
But we should say they are releasing these type of movies on what was it, HBO and
Yeah.
other places, so you can actually watch these newer movies that just came out, like The Invisible Man and stuff like that, on like on demand and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, you will
It's going
have
to be expensive.
Yeah, you have to rent them like as if you were still going to see a movie. They're not just putting them out there for free. But, I mean, if you wanted to see it at the theater and you were going to pay for it, you still have an opportunity
I think
to
it's
see
a
it,
little
so.
crazy, but I kind of understand the price point that they're doing, like $19 or $20 to
Yeah.
see like The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Which is understandable because you're probably gonna watch it with more than one person, so that's like more than one ticket price.
in the bigger markets, LA and New York, that is the ticket price.
Fair
so
enough.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess plus they're losing fucking money, so they're
boatloads.
probably like, fuck it, we're gonna have to put it at the max.
It makes sense. It
you
makes
know,
sense.
I don't know. It's tough, man. And do it now while you can, because I saw that the World Health Organization has asked Ted Sarandos, or not Ted, Reed Hastings from Netflix, and apparently is reaching out to the other streamers
Yeah.
to lower the quality of their videos and of the stuff that's on there, so that the broadband can stay active for updates with coronavirus
Oh,
and not
shit.
be over jammed when it's needed.
That's crazy.
Because I mean, the internet, if everybody's packed and it's stuff like that,
Yeah,
so
shit shuts down.
yeah, watch it all while you can now, because that might be your only outlet, and even that might come into play.
Exactly.
So fuck.
I know. It's super crazy. But yeah, it's flipping on to the next thing, man. Flipping on to the next page. Now it is time for the IMDb Pro trending segment. Oh, man. Love the things that Bradley Gallo had to say about the IMDb app and IMDb Pro and things. That it is obviously something they pay attention to, but it is not something they live by. Like,
Right.
it will not
Right.
be the reason you get cast. So I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned so much from that guy.
Absolutely, man. I mean, basically, this tool, IMDb Pro, is like it's the tool for information.
Yeah.
It's your go-to source for information.
Agreed.
And I mean, Gallo stressed that like heavily. That's what they use it for. So,
Agreed.
and you should too. It's only $19.99. It's a bargain.
Yeah, check it out, man. Check it out while in quarantine. Top trending movie, by no surprise, is Spencer Confidential. That is
Yes.
that Marky Mark and
Yeah.
our boy
James
James
Dumont.
Dumont.
Yeah.
on there.
Oh, you can't miss him. He's like in this bright ass yellow jumpsuit.
Right.
Plays like a gangster. James, God bless you, man.
God bless you. Oh my goodness. Top trending TV show is The Outsider, HBO's The Outsider. So check that one out. And top trending star is Max von Sydow. Yeah.
Oh, because he
just
recently passed.
Yeah.
So and it's so funny that would happen. Not that he passed. That's not funny. But that Gallo would bring that up because he even says that, in the interview, if you die, you're number one on the star meter.
It's true.
It's true. But it makes sense because everybody's looking to either find out who you were or what you died from or like whatever. So that makes sense.
Exactly. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 105 of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. Thank you again, Mr. Bradley Gallo, for coming on the show and just passing on that piece of advice and bringing all of this information that you know from the entertainment industry to us, so we know now.
Yeah,
So good.
and our listeners now also know.
Exactly.
So I love guests like that. Man.
Agreed. Make sure to follow him on social media, Bradley Gallo, everywhere. Make sure to follow us on social media at Crazy Ant Media on all social media platforms, and of course Pinterest, where you pin some pretty amazing stuff.
I'm an amazing pinner.
Just saying.
Just who knew?
Just saying, who knew? Make sure to follow us both personally on social media. Myself at JLo Fantastic and
Crazy Ant Guy 1970.
That's right. And be sure to subscribe to this podcast anywhere you're listening to your podcast. Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, YouTube. Visually, we love you. Hands down.
The best place to see our merch.
Yeah, exactly. Get your freaking Crazy Ant Media, latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear, because they are all freaking amazing. And if you have any input on some of our gear, let us know.
You just gave me an idea. I thought this is where you were going, and then you didn't do it, but this maybe sparked it. Get your ant on.
Get your ant on.
Get your ant on. Maybe that's a new T-shirt coming.
Right?
Get your ant on. That's what I thought you were about to say. Now it's a fucking T-shirt. It's going to be a T-shirt. Get your ant on.
Exactly. But yes, man, visit our website, crazyantmedia.com. All the latest and greatest shit from the company, from ourselves, and from the podcast are on our website. So be sure to check that out. And something else I want to try at the end of every episode now is our reflective thoughts on this episode. I hope that next week is less corona.
Yes. I hope so too. I hope more people have stayed inside and listened to our podcast.
Yeah.
Which in turn would help not spread the coronavirus.
Exactly.
See, we're doing our part.
Exactly.
That's a great reflection. With this podcast, we are doing our part to help stop the spread of coronavirus.
Like, I was actually excited to talk about the paralyzed lady for Batwoman because it wasn't
not
corona.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, we didn't even bring this up in our top 5, but reflecting on it or whatever, we talked about it at the top of the show. Guys, we have been around for 2 years. This is the start of our 3rd year.
Yeah.
We have interviewed so many amazing people and have been blessed with go back and do that.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to our 104 episodes of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. You're going to find some really entertaining stuff, and you're going to listen to some amazing interviews with some amazing talent of men and women of all producers, directors, actors, showrunners, like Grammy winners, just everybody.
All
man.
different walks of life.
Yeah.
Like, they all bring in a different perspective of the entertainment industry, and some of it's same, some of it's different.
Yeah.
That's what's amazing and beautiful about this show, because you get to hear from all these different opinions and situations of these people. We've got so many people. I love it.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's the one thing I take away from the podcast the most is what we get to do and who we get to talk to and what we get to learn every week. Because I mean, we don't know everything.
No,
nobody knows everything.
of course.
And you're always learning and growing. And we've had the opportunity to talk to so many amazing people who have been so successful in the industry that we're in. And so to be able to do that and share that with everybody, I love that. That's my favorite part of the show.
Yeah, seriously. And before we go, I just remembered this rumor that was going around on social media.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't him. Wasn't him. Oprah is not involved in a sex trafficking ring.
Yeah, what the fuck with that? Oprah said, I am at home like everybody else, just trying to get through Corona.
What the fuck is that?
Like, what the fuck? Don't mess with our Oprah, man.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
That is so fucked up. That's so fucked. But that's why we love Oprah!